could go upwards of to 3 trillion. But I think as soon as Democrats get in and AI actually starts to do the things that these CEOs have shut their mouths about over the last couple of weeks, about really shrinking the workforce. And I do think that there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to be doomerish as the way that they're talking about it, but it's going to be significant enough to where Bernie Sanders getting on national TV and telling people that they're going to nationalize these company is actually a popular view.
Yeah, I hate it. I
I hate
do,
it. I
but
fucking hate
I
it. I hate it.
no, I'm with you though. I wish there was more pushback in the states that are floating this, but instead it's gaining way too much attention and traction. Um,
Well, what do you
like
expect, Matt, when you have the
yeah,
worst inequality in a century
dude.
and you
Yeah,
have these CEOs coming out telling you that their literal job is to eliminate people's jobs
bragging over it,
and bragging over it?
yeah, like using that as the selling point, and
It was until the
yeah,
IPO roadshow, and then they shut their fucking mouth, and everyone started
yeah,
changing their fucking tune as soon as the IPO talk started happening because they realized that how unpopular of a fucking opinion. Like, look at just one anecdotal thing that I think really encompasses people's view on this.
yeah.
The one speech at the college or university where he
Oh,
started talking about AI and
Eric
instantly,
Schmidt.
yeah,
Yep.
Eric Schmidt, instantly, everyone in that room booed him,
Yeah.
right? These people, I guess, what are they? Are they still Gen Zs that are graduating college, or are they the next gen? I don't even know. Um,
It could be the earliest gen, the oldest Gen Alphas. That's true. The
you mean
youngest Gen Z, the
yeah.
youngest Gen Z, the oldest. Because it's crazy, but the oldest Gen Zs are now 30.
Yikes. Yikes.
Right.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
have either the youngest Gen Zs or the oldest Gen Alphas
Yeah.
are graduating college and university with whatever $50,000 of debt, and they're
Yeah.
going into a job market that's been stagnant for 2 years, and now they're coming out in the face of like this technology that's supposed to just completely control, alt delete their profession. Of course, they're not going to have a fucking good view on AI? Are they going to vote for some socialist Democrat that's going to tell them that they're going to nationalize it and make sure it doesn't destroy jobs? And that if it does, you're going to tax the money and give it to the people for stimmy checks? Those people are going to fucking eat that hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
more.
you see it with the data center pushback. It's not only blue cities or blue states that are pushing back on this. No,
No, it's
it's
Republican states and
right.
rural.
It's rural America, it's Republican states, it's ruby red
Utah,
conservative.
Kevin
Yeah,
O'Leary.
Utah, Arizona, parts of Texas, rural Virginia, you name it, like Western Pennsylvania. Like these are not like coal country. These are not liberal bastions. It's a bipartisan pushback right now of all things AI, and I can't blame them. Like you're right. Like if you had been listening to this for the last couple of years, everyone from Sam Altman to Eric Schmidt, as you said, they were all so hot to trot about like, oh, this is gonna your every company's going to be able to do more with less. You're going to be able to slash your workforce. You have these idiot CEOs with their AI whitewashing where they're talking about, oh yeah, we reduced headcount by 10% or 50% because we're just so much more efficient with AI. Half of it's a lie, but even if it is, if
Half
it's
of
a
it, 90% of it's a
right.
lie.
Yeah, right. Whether it's half a lie or the whole thing's a lie, it's still like, oh, you're still blaming AI, and so everyone knows who to get mad at. Oh, it's AI. Get mad at the data centers. Get mad at Anthropic and OpenAI. Get mad at all things AI. Like, yeah, I'm with you 100%. And and you're also right with like these large language models. It looks like Anthropic Claude's in the lead right now, but I don't see any of them with an insurmountable moat or monopoly. Completely different
No,
from
that's why it's going to be commoditized, I think.
right. Yeah, and they're all like gonna keep blasting capex to try to quote unquote win. Google
I know the
is
whole the
yeah. Go ahead.
whole narrative and everyone's talking and fucking Horowitz is saying that they think that they've already reached AGI.
Oh,
It complete horseshit. It's just the
hogwash shit.
IPO roadshow. Like, first of all, I don't even think Horowitz could even define you what AGI actually is, and he'll never do it
Yeah.
for you because that
It's a
would
moving goalpost.
it's a moving
It's
goalpost, right? And I don't even think like as much as I think these LLMs are super amazing, they're not even AI. They're truly not. They're language models, right?
they're they're
They're regurg
super they're super advanced if then statements, honestly.
yeah,
They really
right?
are.
It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like I've probably increased my productivity at least 2x, if not 4x on what I do specifically, but
$100%.
it's not AI,
It's
right?
not
And
well,
so
it's certainly not AGI.
certainly not AGI.
Right.
That's for sure, right? But besides the point, I do think it is there. These models are going to be commoditized, and that's not what the
Yeah.
moat really is. Like I honestly think the ultimate winner of this is going to be Apple, and they haven't even touched it. It
Look at the market agrees with you. Look
yeah
at the stock. The stock
yeah
is literally let me pull it up here.
yeah
Yeah,
like
literally an all-time high today. It's been straight up. It's been
yeah.
pure straight up. They haven't had a red week since March, you know. Is that because Siri's that much better? No, it's
No,
because
Siri's dog shit. It's just their
right.
distribution.
But they're so smart. Like they're sitting over here like, look, let's let all these stupid large language model people let them punch themselves silly and knock each other out. All we're going to do is whoever the winner is or even the top 2 or 3, we'll just make it really easy and accessible on our iPhone because you still have to access it through your Mac or your iPhone
Well, not
anyway.
only that, they could just steal it, right? Like look what China's doing.
y- steal it or like whatever. It's just okay, just like Google was the default search engine, okay, now Anthropic or maybe it's Gemini is the default AI agent, but like that, yeah, Apple can just swoop in, not spend a dime on trying to quote unquote win AI. All they do is just host the winner, and
They have
everyone still has to use
distribution.
their yeah, everyone
They
still
have
has to use their product. So it's brilliant.
they have distribution. That's why
Yeah.
they're probably going to win. They don't have to spend literally hundreds of billions of dollars on building this shit out, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Tim Cook rides off into the sunset.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I do think SpaceX has a lot better of a 10-year runway than these AI companies. There's
Sure.
so much incentive to highly regulate these companies, to the point where not just protection regulation, like AI safety. Remember how Elon Musk was talking about AI safety in like 2019, and now that's just thrown to the wind, and there's absolutely zero AI safety. And the safety people at OpenAI are now fucking in Northern Ireland writing poetry because
Yeah,
they've retired.
the
Like,
the safety is it's all over it's in Europe, where they're, every month they're that farther behind because, while they're clutching at
yeah, they
pearls.
realize that the innovation in whoever gets
Mhm.
wherever this imaginary goal line is, they need to get there first, whatever wherever that is, and so that's their excuse for having no regulation. But as soon as
Yeah.
Democrats win in 2028, like they're gonna put the brakes so hard on this, it's gonna be stupid how
I
hard they hit them.
you know that 2028 so far in the future, I
No,
don't.
you can make a boatload of money in 2 years,
Yeah,
right? Or are
but
you thinking that the Democrats aren't going to win in 2028?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think. I think especially if
I'll take the opposite. I think it's going to be even more likely as time goes on. I'm
yeah, shoot. Yeah, you think
I'm about
the bad taste, the Trump effect, everyone just
yeah,
has such a bad
I
taste.
think yeah, I
Okay.
think we're probably a 65 to a 70% chance that Dems
Yeah.
win. And
Yeah.
right now, I actually think by the time you get there, I think it's probably going to be closer to 90%
Could
from
be.
from what I think is going to happen. It's not just about the
Yeah.
disdain for Trump and Trump derangement syndrome, because that's pretty high right now. You're going to see the results of that in midterms, right? All the unnecessary inflation that he caused on a war for to basically do Israel's bidding on their behalf, causing
Yeah.
Americans billions and billions and billions of dollars in energy costs, et cetera, et cetera. But also that I do think that we are going to probably head into some pretty choppy, rough economic times in the second um, later part of 2027 and specifically 2028. I think there's some real fundamental structural reasons why real estate is going to poo poo in 2028.
Mm.
Um, and I think the economy is just going to be in a shit show. Um,
But
in that,
I think that
It-
AI is probably going to end up causing its own 2000 version of a tech bubble. An AI bubble. It's only a matter of time because you again you had Google
yeah. Do
selling
you think that
80.
bubble is going to happen before or after the 2028 election?
I think before. I think
Yeah,
before.
same,
Yeah.
same.
It's a this year is not half over, and 2027 is a long time. And then again, the 2028 election is not till November, so the majority of 2028 will have happened. I think we could easily have a AI valuation pop before that election, and before enough that it's meaningful for the outcome. Now the bull m- my I don't see this as like another great recession. I see this as more of like the tech bubble of 2000. So if you were a high
Do you
level
know the tech
executive.
bubble? Do you know
Yeah.
the tech bubble only caused 2 quarters of negative GDP?
Yeah, yeah. Unemployment only got to 5%.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
asset values that got retarded.
Right. But I think that's what happens. I think these
The only
biggest
problem
players of
that
AI, I think the biggest players of AI, their valuations like right now I can make a case for holding Micron now. I'm gonna be hard pressed when that PE goes to 50, then goes to 100. Like it starts going the wrong direction. People just keep bidding it higher and higher and higher. Like then I'm out. Like I'm out. Like there's a valuation where I would love to own any of these companies, but as soon as the forward PE is getting bigger than the trailing PE, like I'm out. Like that's just fundamentally
I
can't keep
Matt,
going.
I
Yeah.
don't think you're going to have that opportunity. I to be a smart, intelligent investor to look at that. What I think is probably going to happen is AI capex. Whenever this happens, it might not be to sometime in late 2027.
Hmm.
AI capex spend is going to fall off of a cliff, like, and I mean a cliff. And then one day, Micron's PE is going to be, let's say, 30, and then
Hmm.
the next day it's 10, or
Well,
the next day, I mean the
yeah.
opposite. One day it's 30, the next day it's 80.
We will see that though. That'll be major headlines when all of a sudden we're in earnings season
You'll see
and
it, but then the stock will.
but we'll
But the
hear
thing is,
but we'll
all it
hear.
takes is one
Okay.
stock to report.
That's exactly my point. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. All it takes is like
So if
let's
you see
say
Nvidia
Meta.
report and
Well, I
they
was going to.
miss by 30%,
Nah, but Nvidia's last. It's going to be someone like, and remember, Nvidia sells to all these large language model fighters trying to win, quote unquote, win AI. Where we're
yeah.
going to
But so if
see
they
it.
cut off, if they stop, like where are you going to see it first? Energy.
No, 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 no. We'll see it when Meta announces, "Hey, we beat EPS, we beat revenue, but we're lowering our capex spend for next quarter." It's over. It's it. That's done. As soon as these Mag 7 or Mag 10, as soon as they start saying, "Hey, our future capex is going to be smaller than our past capex," we've rolled over. That's your sign. That's it. That because then that you physically can't justify that somehow Nvidia is going to sell more GPUs tomorrow than yesterday, or Micron's going to sell more memory tomorrow than yesterday.
Who's the biggest spender right now?
It's the Mag 10. It's Anthropic, it's OpenAI, it's SpaceX, it's all the Mag 7. They're like even to this day, in the majority of Nvidia's GPUs are sold to the biggest market cap companies of the S&P 500. It's and then the smaller minority is literally everyone else in the world. But it it, it really is these top 10 is basically the 1 trillion and higher market cap companies that are all trying to fight it out and quote unquote win AI. That's who keeps bidding up memory. Looking at a dinky USB-C 1 terabyte flash SanDisk flash memory stick. I have to buy these constantly for the company. A year ago they were $80. Now they're 200, 250. Like they've literally tripled in over a year, uh, simply because of the AI race. It's not because all of a
Yeah,
sudden
it's
everyone.
like Nvidia GPUs in 2017 when everyone was buying them to mine Ethereum.
That's the whole right. That's the whole thing. And so, but my canary in the coal mine. As soon as one or two of these Mag 7 admit next, whatever earnings, this might be earning season late 2026, or maybe it's sometime in 2027. But as soon as these Mag 7 companies admit that they're not going to spend a bigger capex number in the future quarter than they did in the past quarter, then we know we've rolled over the hill. Then we know, okay, it's literally impossible for us to have a bigger blowout memory, or GPU, or energy need, for these AI companies and data centers than the past blowout, because they're admitting they're planning on spending less. They're physically plan. They're telling you we are not going to spend as much. We are not going to do $100 billion ATM on our share price. We are going to tighten the belt. Like that's the signal. I really think.
No, that's the signal for the bubble popping. For sure.
Right.
I don't think that happens for probably halfway through 2027.
Agreed.
Um, I just think that the market's going to cool off here this summer. Like they've run too much too fast. Like a lot of the PEs don't make sense at all. Well, they look. It's hard to even look at P's anymore because this market just runs on narrative more than anything else. To be honest with you, like so, looking at a stock and being like, "Oh my god, the PE is too high. I'm going to sell it." It doesn't really make sense. Like even like companies that have super low PEs, like it's very hard to like look at it and like, "Oh, is this going to go up because it has a low PE?" Like it's all been narrative driven, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever the narrative is. Um, and if some of these stocks start to roll over in the face of just summer cyclicality, um even like 10%, 20% or whatever it is, like some of those names like Micron correct 20% tomorrow and no one would blink an eye, like nobody, like
Yeah. I
oh,
might. Yeah.
back to prices from last week.
Right, what, back to 900? Oh,
Yeah,
I might add some.
yeah, right.
Right.
So that's what I mean, right?
But like, even look, even Tesla. Tesla's at a 339, almost 340 PE right now. But even that's on narratives. Like who really wants to sell Tesla here when everyone knows SpaceX is probably gonna buy them out via shares, and they're not gonna, like, they're gonna do right by Tesla because it's just Elon reaching into his right pocket and paying
What's
himself in his left
Tesla's
pocket.
valuation now? What's their
One
market
point
cap?
1.6 trillion. 1.6.
1.6 trillion.
I
Yeah.
know. And SpaceX is gonna buy them. Oh my god. It's nuts. It's so nuts.
Yeah, they're just gonna dilute
So
shareholders
yeah,
50%.
do you think Elon's not going to drive a hard bargain? He wants that market cap preserved because he wants to get to 10 trillion total to hit his options goal, his options milestone.
Yeah, exactly.
He,
Right.
he's
So
he's not gonna he's not gonna drive a hard bargain at all. In fact, he's gonna it's gonna be some amazing sweetheart deal to Tesla shareholders. So even Tesla at a 300, that's my point. Even at a 340 PE, I don't think you're going to find any major Tesla sellers because they want to cash in that sweetheart deal to
oh,
SpaceX.
right now, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
pull a David Bailey, literally.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah. I mean, there's no such thing as guarantees in the market, but like SpaceX acquiring Tesla has to be the highest conviction sometime within like within year
12
over
months.
year. Yeah, maybe like, oh, that's an interesting thought. Does it happen after lockups, or probably happens before lockups, right? Before share
Well, the lockups
before
are well, all the shares go fucking 93% are out by
Right.
November. So I don't think they can do that deal before November.
Ah, shoot, that's not enough time. I bet they would want to though, thinking that like if they're
You
worried
know what
about
they're gonna
the
do. You know what they're gonna do, right?
what?
They're going to basically try to steal the thunder of Open AI's IPO, and
For
they're gonna do
sure.
that deal that week.
Of course they are. Of course. I mean, you saw Elon literally dropped SpaceX's IPO announcement on Nvidia earnings day. During Nvidia's earnings announcement. Like this guy. Yeah, of course he's gonna try to steal Anthropic's thunder.
No, not Anthropic, Open AI.
Oh, OpenAI. Wait, so okay, even if OpenAI is right
I don't
about
think.
to officially file, like Q1 2027 at the earliest,
Yep,
probably
that's what.
Q2,
Yeah,
really.
I think so. But that's when I think they're gonna get the Tesla deal done. He's doing it
Uh,
out of spite. He's gonna try to
100%.
steal
Yeah.
is steal market liquidity, even though it's not really a huge liquidity event. It's just them basically
Steal thunder
generating
from, yeah,
steal
Sam
thunder from
Altman.
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it's going.
Honestly, I think that's why
I
he
would.
was happy
It,
to sign this Anthropic deal. Anything like even if Grok can't win, he'd rather see Anthropic win rather
oh,
than
100%.
OpenAI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. If I was a SpaceX owner, I would not want an owner of Tesla.
No.
No,
Yeah.
like
Why would you want to
not a
be? Why would you want to be so like further
you
diluted
get
and
like 40% diluted, or I guess at that stage, if SpaceX is like a $3 trillion
yeah.
company, you're basically diluting it like 50%, or
Right.
what, or I guess it would be 25% dilution because it's half the value.
Wait, no, no, no.
Right.
How? Tesla right now is 1.6 trillion.
Oh
If
shit. Yeah,
they're
yeah. So
almost
basically it'd
they're
be
almost the same
50%.
size. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be a pretty big dilution event to get a fucking car company that's
Yeah.
valued like 400 times higher than other car companies. Okay.
Well, that's why I was wondering, does
That's why I don't want to own
does Elon?
SpaceX.
Well, yeah, I don't
If I would
exactly.
honestly,
I don't want to I don't
if
want
it
to
was
own it at
just
all.
SpaceX, like I would actually like I would buy that. But having all this other
Mm,
shit, maybe not for this valuation long term.
yeah.
I'd wait for a massive implosion. But like just owning SpaceX by itself, opposed to like comparing it to, oh, you own SpaceX, you own XAI, and you own Tesla. Like I don't want to fucking
Right.
own that basket of
Yeah.
shit
You know
because
what is real?
all they're gonna do is fucking basically shuffle the eggs around under the cartons to make the whole thing look good, or to save the other shitty
Yeah.
company, right? So
You know what it is? It's literally it's literally 80s and 90s GE all over again, you know? It's literally GE, the 21st century of GE, where it's got literally every single sector and industry you can think of under the umbrella of GE. And whatever, you just own it all. If you own GE, like there's GE finance, and there's GE energy, and there's GE health, and there's GE, like that's literally what it feels like. It's just this like smorgasbord of, like, the isn't Boring Company in there too now, or will be
yeah, it
soon, I'm
is.
sure. Like, yeah, it's
It
like
is.
it's the Tesla wall mounted power batteries.
Tunnel
It's
company, the
Optimus.
flamethrowers
Yeah, the Optimus robots
that's never coming
future.
out.
Yeah.
Bro, I listening to like the All In podcast has been like it's honestly comedy at this point. Like
Yeah,
those they just lie. They're just selling their books so bad.
they're
Like
part of the
the
roadshow. They're
Yeah,
literally
they're
part of the
part of the
roadshow.
roadshow.
Yeah.
They're literally talking about how there's going to be 1 billion robots by the year like 2035. I'm like, well,
It's
excuse
ridiculous.
me?
That's so dumb. Like,
I guarantee.
are they counting the automated arms in the Tesla factory? That's
Yeah,
the only
I
thing I
bet
can
you
think
there
of.
won't. I bet you won't even be able to buy a robot by 2035. Like, I don't think the product's going to launch.
Yeah.
Remember the Tesla solar panel roof,
Oh
the
gosh.
shingles?
That
You
was
remember that?
died without a trace.
Yeah, that died without a chase. What else died without a chase? The transport trucks,
Yeah. I
everything,
mean,
everything, dude.
Sci Have you seen how far Cybertrucks have fallen off? Like literally negative 50% from its original prices. Like you can go out and get a
Yeah,
like
who'd want to
new.
drive that? It looks like a fucking literal Christmas ornament driving down the street.
Yeah.
I don't want that. It looks ugly. Not to mention it fucking runs out of batteries in 2 miles.
Well, and the thing can't hold its value. It's just a money trap. You can
Well,
get
no,
a
because they
like
always
new for 50,000 or 60,000. It's literally
Tesla always does that. They always fuck over their existing owners, whether it's
yeah,
the, oh, we're changing the software updates to now you don't have to buy the $30,000 package and we're just going to sell it for $100 monthly. And then you have people sitting there being like, I just paid an extra 18 grand for this. What the fuck? And then they cut all their car prices all the time, like right after people buy it. And they're like, what the fuck? And the same
yeah.
thing with Cybertruck, like you said, like it's just, I don't know if anyone's ever driven one, but those are the shittiest build quality cars I've ever driven in my life.
They rattle. I
They
rode in
literally,
one.
you
I
go in there,
rode in one.
you
It
squeeze every little piece of plastic, and it all
yeah,
cricks and cracks. It's like a fucking toy car. And then
yeah.
you can buy like a BDY from China for like 14,000, and it's better build quality somehow.
That's a shame. Those BDYs, those wow. It's a
If they, I'll be like, this
they're
is
just absolutely dominating all around the world.
They dominate.
Yeah.
They absolutely dominate. And if they were allowed to be sold in the United States, they dominate there too because
What do you
it's a state funded operation. Like
yeah.
they're so subsidized. Like I can literally go to there's a BYD dealership like very close to me. I can go buy a fucking brand new BYD
Yeah.
fully electric SUV for like literally like
20?
20 23
That's what I was
24.
seeing. That's what I was seeing. Yeah, 20. Yeah. I
Yeah,
what
right.
every
Like, and
time
it's nice. It's honestly
it's
nice.
so
It's fucking
nice.
nice. It's
It's
so nice. Leather seats,
it's
all the
better.
options,
It's
four
literally better.
TVs, moon roof.
It's
Like,
literally better than a Tesla Model 3, which is twice the price.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mind you, it is subsidized with CCP money, but
Yeah.
like, if you're just a consumer and you just don't give a
What do
fuck,
you
like,
care? What do you care?
what do
Yeah.
you care, right?
Right.
And I seen the big story lately. Is that I think it's mostly a fuck you to Trump, but I'm pretty sure Canada opened up their markets to
I
BYD.
saw
And like
that.
and you have all and I'm just like that, like the only reason they do that is a fuck you to Trump, but like
Yeah.
they're just committing suicide, I think, by doing that. But
Well,
it's
do
kind of
they?
funny.
I don't know. Does Canada even have much of a domestic car
Oh,
production?
they do.
Like,
Oh yeah,
really?
100% they do. That's
Who am I
massive.
thinking of? Who's what's their?
N-
I thought it's all really Michigan.
all the American cars are
Yeah.
all made in Canada.
Oh,
Ford,
for
Toyota, all of them are
cheaper. Oh, I
all
see.
made,
Cheaper.
all made. So
Gotcha.
all the labor. So that's all the
Gotcha.
deals
Gotcha.
they
Gotcha.
have, right, with American car companies. Every single car company in America, they basically have factories
Oh,
in
make
Canada.
that makes sense. They make them in Mexico. They make them in Canada.
Yeah, exactly,
Save
right.
a couple of dollars on the
Yeah, save a couple dollars on
tens of
tariffs and
yeah.
whatnot, and they get probably subsidies from the governments for labor deals
Ooh.
and shit.
Well, did you see the
And
recent? Did you see the recent news that Canada slipped into a technical recession
yeah,
officially?
2 quarters. Yeah. Well,
J-
I
is
just
that just because of now? Me, I immediately thought honestly, it makes a lot of sense because one, you had the massive spike in silver and gold, and obviously Canada is heavy rare earths and minerals, and the massive spike in oil. So is it kind of just like well uh, uh those two
no.
factors?
You
Okay,
know what it is.
no,
You know
what's
what
that?
it is. It's they kicked out too many Indians.
Business? Like, wait. Oh,
Indians.
Indian. Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know if you meant native or
No,
Indian
not Native
Indians.
Americans.
Oh,
Like fucking, give me some fucking chicken korma. Indians.
who's gonna?
Um,
But those are your like physicians and surgeons and doctors and nurses. So
no,
who's gonna? Oh
not in
no.
Canada. No,
Oh,
no, no,
really?
no, no. They
Oh,
so they
yeah.
there that's been a huge scandal in Canada for the last 3 years. Is they've basically imported, so Canada's population was like 30 million 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Today it's over 40 million. And
It's
it's
like five
all
million of immigrants, right? It was
yeah.
like
They
crazy.
let five, or I think it was like almost 4 million of immigrants since
Wow.
COVID.
Whoops.
Since COVID, they've let in
Yep.
4 million Indians, and it was all through with these sketchy education things.
NGOs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically it'd come in basically saying they're taking a class and they would never go and they would just basically start working. And so guess what the youth unemployment is in Canada right now?
Let me guess here. I'm gonna say 15%.
Yeah, 15%.
Ah, no way. Really?
Yeah. What do you get?
Oh,
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think normal
so bad.
unemployment is?
For adult, just adult.
Everyone. It's close to
Eight,
eight.
eight. Oh, wow,
Yeah.
I had eight. I had eight.
Yeah. It's close to
Wow,
eight. So
wow, that's bad.
they're
That's
in a
bad.
real recession right now. It's not a fucking technical recession. It is a fucking
That's
real
a fucking
recession.
honestly, if the US had an 8% unemployment, like they might just vote to impeach Trump, regardless of
Yeah,
regardless
they're
of
fucking
Republicans in control of Congress. Like they
they're
would,
idiots. They're
yeah.
idiots up there, right? They're fucking
That's
retarded.
so that is so bad. Is that
Yeah.
what was like a year or two ago? What's their baseline? Is that off of like 5% baseline or something, or like
What do
how
you mean?
like
It got it,
what's normal yeah,
during COVID. It got
go
as
ahead.
low as where the U.S. was.
3%, 4%.
Yeah,
So they literally doubled
double.
unemployment.
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck are they doing up there?
They're idiots. Well, a
Wh-
lot of it has to do
But
with it.
is that
They
is
saw
tariffs
they
can't help. Tariffs can't
So
help.
tariffs
But like,
didn't help. No,
of
they did
course,
not help.
right,
But
right,
their entire growth model
yeah.
was let's let in 4 million people from India. And because they're coming with money, and so more mouths to feed mean
Oh,
higher GDP. That's the whole
that's so fucking short sighted.
and it's super short sighted. Because one, the infrastructure wasn't ready there to fucking dump 4 million people in like a very
Well,
small area.
there's not infinite money in philanthropy. Like I
Well, that's
understand
why that's
you got a
where do
big
you think where
heart,
do
but like
but
we
Matt,
can't.
where do you think all
Yeah.
that money came from? The youth unemployment's 15%. So all those Indians took jobs at fucking
Yep.
Wendy's and McDonald's,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yeah. All
So
the entry low what do you call it? All the low skill,
yeah. Yeah. And so
certain sector. Yep.
the idea is if you're like a central planner, the idea is that you're going to push the native born citizens out of the lower paying jobs and you're going to naturally rise them into higher paying jobs because other people are taking those jobs and they're going to retrain.
If
Um,
only.
if only, right? Like that's the
Right.
plan. But like what happens is you basically now have literal retards working minimum wage jobs that don't even
Yeah.
speak English
You got to
and you have
spread if that's your thesis, you got to spread that out over 25 years, not under
yeah, I know
5. Yeah.
they fucked up clearly. If you
Oof.
want to see a horrible chart, go look at Canada's GDP per capita.
I'm looking.
Look at
GDP.
that. Just go Canada's GDP per capita chart. It's hilarious. Just look at it. Look at it, baby.
Um,
Look for the last 20 years or even 50 years.
ugh, it's the wrong direction.
Yeah. So their
What the
GDP.
fuck?
Their
Wait, what is
yeah.
happening here?
So from 2012, I believe is when Justin Trudeau got into power. They're liberal or whatever their fucking party
Mm,
name is. Um, GDP per capita has been stagnant for the last
yep,
13, 14 years.
yep. You're so for
And that's while cost of living has
yeah.
gone up.
You're literally at the same GDP per capita as you're right, 2011, 2012. So like it's like going sideways for over 15 years.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
not only that, cost of living's gone up exponentially in those 15 years.
Of course,
So,
right. So
so the
real,
standard of
yeah,
living has
yeah.
like bona fidely went down massively.
Well, that's I've never lived in Canada, but plenty of people. The first and second and third complaint is housing has just like damn near tripled, if not quadrupled. in a decade or in 15 years. So congrats, you're still making the same GDP per capita, but all of your desirable assets and aspirational, you know,
You
things
got
in
rug
life to
pulled.
build a family. Yeah, it's all 3x and 4x more unaffordable. Great.
Yeah, you got rug pulled hard.
Man, that's great.
Not,
I had no
not,
idea. All I saw was the little headline that said, Canada's a technical recession." But yeah, I'm looking at this now.
they're
8%
technically
unemployment.
retarded.
That's nuts. Canada on like there would be marching in the street if the US had
Yeah, Canadians are
7% or
retarded.
8% unemployment.
Canadians are retarded. They think that this is all
Oh,
Trump's fault.
man.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're down bad. They're down bad.
Circle before I forget, circling back. So we were making fun of the Cybertruck. One out of five, for every five Cybertrucks sold, one out of five Cybertrucks was Tesla selling them to SpaceX. SpaceX literally owns 20% of all Cybertrucks ever registered in the US. So
What the fuck,
so that's great.
bro? My God,
Right? So
and Tesla's sitting
that's
at a 300 PE. What the
yeah.
fuck?
Hey, 340.
Oh my God.
Don't cut us short here.
You
That's
couldn't pay me
340.
enough to invest in SpaceX. Holy fuck.
Right? That's what
Oh
like
my God.
that's my that's my thing with all of these LLMs. Like they're all gonna bludgeon themselves to death and overspend on capex. So my thing is, look, sell them sell them all the GPUs or the memory or the energy they want, and when the music stops. But like, if you're Micron, you don't care who wins. In fact, if you're Micron or
Yeah, you're
you're
just selling
Nvidia,
shovels.
yeah, in fact, you want more of them to compete. You don't want them to ever give up. You want to, like, I'm not surprised that Micron bought into Anthropic's series, I don't know, whatever it was, series G, series H, or something series ridiculous. But like, I'm not surprised that they're like literally funding them all,
Well, they're all
funding them
funding
to
each
keep
other,
going.
right?
Yeah,
They're all funding each other. Yeah.
but they're incentivized to, like, they want they want they want them to keep competing, and instead of 5 competitors, why not 10 competitors? Because if you're the GPU monopoly, or you're the memory monopoly, it's just pure profit to you. Pure profit. You don't
The
care who
best part is
wins.
like the life cycle on that shit's like 4 years.
Yeah, or even longer if you start dipping it in, you get it in those
Liquid,
oil, yeah,
liquid.
those oil lubricant things, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look who it is. It's fucking Rob Schneider, our favorite
Hey,
Ashkenazi Jew.
I know when I mentioned when as soon as I said gold and silver, I swear I saw him pop into the
Yeah,
space.
that's he got a little gold fairy.
Where
I'm
you
rich. I
where
bought
you
gold.
yeah. Where you been this last half decade?
He's been selling gold bars
Oh,
and
he's rich
Oh,
palladium
you
too.
bars.
know, I
You're
just been
rich
rich
too.
as fuck, just doing my thing. It's all good.
Yeah, how's all time high net worth treating you?
No, I'm just kidding. I sold all my gold and silver at the bottom, and I bought at the top, and I'm broke now. Things didn't work out too well. You should have just not taken my own advice.
Hate to see it.
But I will say, for the record, of any Bitcoiner that didn't actually, and it was a very hard stance to take at the time, Magoo was the only one that was like, I kind of see the industrial aspect of silver. It makes a little bit of sense to me. He was the only one. Everybody else was like, go to hell, and silver will never be over $100. And then sure as shit, boom, 120. You're like, so it did pull back though. It's a little bit of a pullback here. It's at 75 now, but things worked out. The play worked, but now it's kind of baked in pretty good. But I am kind of curious what you guys think of the SpaceX IPO, because if I was choosing, the thing about the SpaceX IPO that people aren't really understanding is that it's a monopoly, because every single provider of service around the world is gonna have to beg to be on Starlink. It's not even close. So all these, there's no competition in terms of how. If you look up, if anybody's on their computer right now, look up, Starlink satellites in the sky, and you can see the web of satellites that are already deployed in the sky.
That's
Every
the only.
single, like,
Yeah,
there's no
Rob.
competition.
The only good thing about the SpaceX company at the moment is Starlink. That's the only good part of it. Everything else is
Yeah.
complete dog shit.
But
And
just like the argument of immaculate conception with Bitcoin, you have an immaculate conception of first to market that nobody else can compete. The satellite's already up there. It's too late. They
yeah,
won.
but
Yeah, but
it's
they
the
had, but
money. There's not
yeah,
enough. You can't make enough money.
and those things, it's not like they're going to last indefinitely. They require replacement. They require like
Well, it's not even that. It's
Starlink
not even
doesn't
that
work
though,
without
Matt.
SpaceX either. Like,
Dude,
I
I have
think.
Starlink on my house. I'm talking to you on Starlink right now, and it's
Yeah, I
fucking
know, but
incredible.
right.
at the valuations, I think the growth story for SpaceX is not the monopoly on Earth launch orbits with satellites. It's everything else. Like
Mm,
if you're buying SpaceX at a $2 trillion valuation, you're not buying it because of Starlink. Like Starlink is the best money maker currently, but like if you're buying the air quote monopoly on space, it has nothing to do with Starlink. It has everything to do with basically you're gonna have a monopoly on being the only person to fucking launch things into space, like outer space, not like low Earth orbit. Like that's the narrative for me. Like if you're gonna buy SpaceX, it's like if you're buying it for 20 years, that's why you're buying it. You're not buying it because of
yeah.
Starlink.
Well, if we know one thing, we know that Elon will go to bat with one of his companies to save another one of his
Yeah, he's
companies.
gonna
With
buy
what,
Right.
Tesla.
like, look
He's
at what he did with Solar City, And so you
Yeah.
look at that and you go, okay, well, I think he's going to get a juicy IPO where they're going to skyrocket up to 2 trillion on the valuation, probably pull back down to 1 trillion, have a massive crash of people
Oh
selling
my
out from the
gosh.
top, and
Yikes.
then I think that money's going to flow back into Tesla. That's what that's
Whoa.
genuinely what I think is going to
Float.
happen.
What? No. Well, why? Wait. Why would people take profit out of Starlink and then? Oh, excuse me. Take
He
profit
can
out
now
of
write
SpaceX and then go
contracts to
back
make
into
he can
Tesla?
make every single Tesla car buy a Starlink, and then every Tesla car has a Starlink on it. He can mix those companies together like nobody's business, and he
no,
will do that.
no, Rob. We just talked
Yeah.
about this. They're
Yeah.
not just going to mix the companies. SpaceX is going to buy Tesla within 12 months.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, they're very similar on market cap, so it's going to be tough to buy them.
No, it
It's not
won't.
like
No. No.
It's
No. No.
super
No.
easy. You
SpaceX
just
just issues enough shares.
you just
Done.
dilute.
Yeah. They're
You
not
just
gonna they're
dilute.
not gonna
but
give
you have
them.
to buy those shares. They're both at a
No,
1.5 trillion
you
cap.
No.
don't. No, you
ATM.
don't.
It's just
No,
an
you don't.
ATM.
It's
Yeah.
ATM. You
Yeah.
basically just issue shares and give them to them on a whatever per basis,
Yep.
and
And and
you have any money. You don't have
and
to have
it
any money. You just dilute your current SpaceX holders. That's what he's
exactly.
going to do. SpaceX is going to go to like 2.5 trillion. They're going to issue basically shares so that they can basically dilute and then buy Tesla, whatever it is, 1.5 trillion for no
Yeah.
cash, all stock deal. Then you're going because remember, all of Elon's incentives are market cap weighted. And
Yeah.
so the bigger he can make the company, the more likelihood he's going to get those payoffs. So he's going to absorb Tesla. There's
In
400,000%.
which is also
But
why
how long of a timeline do you think that's
12
going to be?
months.
a year,
I
yeah,
bet
1 year, yeah.
if I had to bet money, I would bet it'd probably be in the first or second quarter of 2027.
Yeah. You don't want to wait too long because you don't, Rob, what if you're right? What if there's a serious cooling off on the SpaceX market cap? You want to get this in the pipeline and get the investors incited and get the because if you're gonna sell X amount of shares of SpaceX, you want those shares valued as
High
much as
style.
possible. Right, exactly. And like honestly, if you want it, that just made me realize if you were just dying to own SpaceX for on a 5 year, 10 year, or 20 year basis, honestly, I think you're better off to go buy Tesla and sit on your hands in Tesla stock because look, it's very obvious. SpaceX is going to uh acquire Tesla, and Elon is going to make it a sweetheart deal. The Tesla buyout is probably going to have, you tell me, Magoo, 20% premium, maybe even higher, 25. Like Elon is incentivized to one, he doesn't 100% control Tesla. So he does need a majority of shareholders to approve the deal. So they're definitely not going to agree to anything except a at least a small premium, if not a nice bump. So figure 20%, right? So like the and then when they get consumed into SpaceX, um you're already de-risked from whatever happened in IPO, all that shenanigans, all the unlocked shares starting to sell. Elon is incentivized to make SpaceX's and Tesla's market cap as big as possible to get him that much closer to to 10 trillion total.
What's the combined market cap of Verizon, AT&T, Cox, every single service provider in the entire world, because they're all going to die to SpaceX.
Die.
Die. They will
Like,
die.
why would they
It,
die?
it, it it's there's they there's no they cannot compete with that many satellites. Their service is shit compared to SpaceX. They're gonna die. All of
Nobody,
them. They're all
not,
dead.
we're not, everybody in the world is using the companies you just talked to. We're not using SpaceX to communicate right now, even. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I'm also not using a fucking wagon and a horse every day. I
Yeah,
use a
but
car.
yeah, but we don't all use, even though what SpaceX has, what is it, 20,000 satellites, right, covering
It's
every
so
inch of,
much better that it's not even. They're gonna all
except
die. All of them will be dead. Mark my
no, no, no,
words, they will
no,
all
Rob,
die to SpaceX. All of them.
except in price. It's not, no one, no, we're not all on SpaceX's Starlink because it's not cheaper yet. Until it's cheaper, you're not, none of these companies are going to die.
The Starlink on my house costs $100 a month, and they provided it as long as I signed up for a year.
My
It's 100.
my both
It's
my
cheaper than the Cox for here. It's just
well,
cheaper.
you might be pretty rural, but like my cell and internet is cheaper than 100 plus. I'm under three digits, so
and those
that's
those
that's
companies,
the thing. That's the problem. As long as Verizon and AT&T and Cox and you name it, as long as they can provide your mobile service or your internet service or your bundled service cheaper than Starlink, and right now it's cheaper than Starlink,
Well, did you
no
know
one's
if you have a
switching.
Starlink, you don't need a VPN. It's just automatically a VPN. Everything connected to it is on a VPN, so you don't even need it. Nobody can ever know your exact
yeah, but
address. Mister
everybody
Nobody,
isn't gonna,
Bitcoiners,
most people don't
everybody
care.
should be on a Starlink. Oh, you
everybody
guys are
isn't gonna
Bitcoiners and
use
you don't want.
Starlink to
You guys are
talk.
Bitcoiners and you don't want a fucking Starlink. You guys are crazy.
No, no,
Fucking
no,
crazy.
no, no. It's
I
just
have my own
everybody's
VPN. I
got their
don't need
own
mine. Yeah.
service that that they prefer or whatever. AT&T, all this stuff. I mean, 90%, 95% of the people on X are not using Starlink, or probably more.
What what
You know,
Yeah.
what you guys are missing is that Starlink is going to become the global cellular provider. They're putting
Bingo. Who's this?
that's
Who's
what you guys are
speaking right
missing.
now?
JP.
I don't
Yeah.
see. Oh,
So
Oh, there
so
you are.
right
Okay.
now Samsung is building custom silicon, right? That they're going to put inside their handsets, which has the capability to anticipate where the next satellite is going. It's going to have built-in AI based roaming for the 10,000 Starlink satellites. Every Gen 2 satellite going up has a 6G cell tower built into it. And
see?
Yeah, there's
they're gonna put Verizon, AT&T, and T, and T-Mobile out of business in the
It
United
will be
States.
like a horse and
yeah.
carriage to a car. It will be nowhere close. Everyone will die to Starlink. No comparison, no shot at all. All of them will die.
What here, but here's the real question. When does Starlink become cheaper than my Verizon? When's
It's
When we
that?
die.
already it's
When
already
No,
there.
it's not. It's not today. When does it become
A
cheaper? Because
hundred a
no
When
month.
one,
I
we
mean,
quit using
no,
that's
cell
no,
phones.
true. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm not joking. Like, it's Starlink is more expensive than Verizon or than
Wait, you can't even
AT&T,
use your
than
cell phone with
Comcast.
you can't
Yeah,
even use your cell phone with SpaceX today.
with
yeah.
Starlink, with Starlink.
That's a fair point, because but
Right.
that's the thing that's in the future. That's in the
The
future. Everything is going to
So
be
that's
Gen
cheap.
2
so
satellites
Rob,
have the cell built in.
Rob. So that, but that's just my simple question. When is that date that Starlink's offering is cheaper than Verizon and AT&T's offering? When that date happens, that Starlink's cheaper. Okay, you've got a good point. You've got a good thesis. But like, until that day even happens, like it's it's
It's a
not a
valid point.
guarantee.
It's a valid point, but on regards to from my personal understanding of the, I mean, I'm talking to you on a Starlink satellite right now from where I'm at. I have one in my warehouse and I have one in my home, and I put them up myself. It was extremely easy to put them up.
Can
But wait, let me
yeah,
finish. So the actual cost is this: they will provide the satellite to you, and it's $100 a month, and you sign up for a yearly service, and they give you the satellite for free. You pay $100 a month, and then that is your ongoing cost is $100 a month for the Starlink. The benefits is that every single device to that Starlink is now on a VPN because it puts you in a rough vicinity of that area of the Starlink within like a 50-mile radius of that. So nobody can pinpoint your location. None of your devices will be able to be pinpointed. So as a Bitcoin or anybody who cares about your privacy, being on a Starlink is a huge benefit where if you pay for ExpressVPN or NordVPN or whatever, that's an ongoing cost that you don't have to pay for anymore. But then also the benefit is that if somebody in my industry, there's thieves, right? So if you're in the collectibles industry, you're worried about someone cutting your power box. The first thing they do when they try to steal from you is they cut your fiber line and they cut your power box. Those are the first things. So anybody that's smart and knows, a security system wants, to have their security system on a backup battery. Now, if you have a backup battery to a Starlink, you can't shut down that security system anymore. So there's when you're talking about like how secure Bitcoiners care about things, to me, paying a marginal 20% premium to have my own internet service that can't be destroyed or taken down is dramatically worth that extra 20% premium. And I don't
Well,
know why
that's not.
Dr. Detro keeps putting these laughy faces or whatever, because I've
no.
been pretty accurate on my thesis for the
Well,
last
no,
5 years.
I
That's
hear what you're
Listen,
Detroit.
saying. I
burglar
hear what
How
you're
alarms
did
have
what
saying.
did
cellular
you
backup.
how did
That's
you
not
pronounce
They're
completely
that?
true.
never
It's
they're
Detroit.
never going to let that happen, man. I mean, you're thinking they're going to have one switch that they're going to turn off the world? It's not going to happen. There's no way.
If I go to your house and I cut your fiber line, you no longer
Sure,
have
I
internet.
can't talk to nobody, but
Um,
my cell phone can
Cellular
still connect to
backup
a
for
tower,
security
to
systems
one of
is
the
the norm.
million towers that are spaced all over the world,
yeah,
are still going to be there.
this
if
isn't
if, if
who's
we
got
were
the
talking if we were
uh,
talking $1,000 a month for this, I'd be like,
yeah.
yeah, right. But when you're talking a difference between $50 a month and $100 a month to have your own internet,
Yeah,
it's
well,
it's not
in
even
the
close.
future, is it going to be like that? I'm just saying, like, we got a long way till Starlink is going to run everybody's cell phone. I mean, that's kind
All
Yeah.
of
I'm
like a
saying is of
crazy
the
argument.
300 people
No, it's
listening
not
here,
that
I think
long, guys.
200 of the 300 people are like, damn, I should get a Starlink when they heard me talking about it in this room. I'm
No,
just
they
saying,
didn't.
I
No,
bet you I
don't
bet
flatter
you money
yourself.
about 200 of the 300 people in here are like, damn, I kind of want to
Don't
get one of them
flatter
bitches.
yourself.
All I have to say, if your thesis to buy SpaceX at a $2 trillion valuation is a
Oh no,
narrative,
I didn't say that. I didn't say buy SpaceX.
You
That's a
did.
terrible idea.
No, wait.
that's what this whole fucking rant's about.
No, it's not worth it right now. No chance. No chance. In the future, though, it'll be worth it. I like their product. I like their product. I think they have a great product.
Lay off the fucking ketamine, Rob, all right? This isn't a fucking show me my Starlink. You got a ref code that I can use when I buy mine?
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I have
Let's
a very, very, very large Tesla position, though.
Oh,
There it
uh,
is.
360 PE on the worst manufactured cars there is on the roads today.
Bro,
yeah, but
I love that. So, dude, when you're using the self-driving thing, it's incredible. I
Bro,
love
yeah,
this
just
thing.
because your boyfriend can suck you off and you don't have to be driving, and that's brownie
Look,
points,
man,
yes,
I
but
like what I like. All right, Magoo, just fucking let me do my thing.
different
yeah, I'd
folks
rather
for
do that in a
different
fucking
strokes.
G Wagon AMG edition, all right? Lots more room.
Yeah, but
Why
then
do
you're
you say the
swerving.
robots are not? Why do you say the robots aren't going to come to fruition?
Not anytime
Dude.
soon.
Yeah, come
I
on
mean,
now.
he's turned off Model S production and Model X production to produce robots.
Yeah,
So I think they're
Yeah,
pretty serious about it,
that's because no one was buying those
buying them.
cars. That's not because
dude.
Optimus is so far
I,
down the
nobody.
pipeline.
You want to know the biggest fuck up of Tesla of all time was not creating an electric F-150 that was a normal looking truck. That was the dumbest move ever to go with the Cybertruck, and that was their biggest mistake they ever made because they would have absolutely crushed it on a normal looking truck.
No, I don't think electric trucks are any marketer there. Like even Ford released their whatever F-150 Lightning, it was a piece of
Yeah,
shit. It's because
they already canceled it in 3 years.
yeah.
You need self-driving. If you don't have self-driving, it makes no
Well,
sense to
then
have
it
an
means
electric truck.
nothing. That has nothing to do with a truck or not a truck. The
You can
whole
have
truck concept.
self-driving. You can have self-driving on a gasoline engine. That's not like it doesn't have to be like
Yeah,
you
I
know.
want self driving. I want self driving on a fully naturally aspirated V12.
Yeah. Autopilot has existed on planes for decades. I haven't seen a single EV plane. I haven't. I'm not riding in an
You
EV
got to go and
Boeing.
you actually have to test it out, because if you test it out, then you'll know what I'm talking. You have to go and see a
Is that
Tesla do
why?
the self driving. It's not even close, dude. It's like not even
Right.
close. Nobody's
Do you
close.
guys know about the new laws that are being
No one
passed about the kill
cares.
switches the kill switches
Yes,
on the new
yes,
cars? Yeah.
I posted about that a few weeks ago when it was getting passed.
Oh, what's up?
They're basically
What happened?
mandating all self-driving cars, or all, not even self-driving, all cars past, I think, 2032 or whatever it was, that they all have to have a remote kill switch.
Starting next year or two,
Wow.
every new car has to have
If
it.
it, if it, wait, every car, period, not just
Period.
self-driving.
Period.
Wow.
Every car, period.
In the U.S. or is this Canada?
Wow.
US.
Yeah, that can't go through. There's no
They
way.
already went through.
It's already law. Massey was shouting from the high
God,
heaven for it.
dude, we're fucked, man. We're so fucked, dude.
That's why you got to buy a
Yeah.
1969
Keep your
Shelby GT
used,
500, and you
keep
don't
your
have to worry
used
about it.
cars.
It's worse than a kill switch. The fucking car won't even start if it senses your emotional stability is
Your remote.
in check.
Why? How?
Bro,
It's
Whoa.
outrageous.
What? You need to
yeah.
fix that Wi-Fi chip in your brain. Like, what? Why are you exhibiting? Why are your emotions being broadcast to your car?
No,
It,
no,
it
no, Matt,
supposedly
Matt, 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 Matt.
it,
So they're
What?
mandating that they have cameras, and the camera uses fucking basically algorithms to determine the
Oh.
expressions on your face and to
Oh
see if you're
shit.
It's
exactly.
fucked, Matt. Like this is how
What the
it's bad.
fuck? Wait, what?
You
Am
didn't
I in
hear
the
this?
wrong? Where am I in the wrong
Imagine
news
this.
feed? I'm not hearing. I'm not getting this.
Imagine this: your wife, your son, your daughter is bleeding to death. Right? You jump in the car to take them to the hospital. Fucking car won't start because your emotional stability is outside the fucking algo limits. Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking. Hold on. Let me see here. Is this the? Is this the halt drunk? No, that's not it. This is something else.
It's called the Automotive Modernization Act.
Okay, thanks. Let me search on that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my post on it. I posted on it a few weeks ago. I'm looking in my tweet history. Forget. I'm trying to figure out. Twitter search fucking sucks these days.
All right. What we got here?
And not only that, now check this out. There's
Right to
the guys
repair.
that own the diesel truck. Listen, all the guys that own the diesel trucks, like the Dodge pickups and stuff. There's a whole market that popped up around. There's companies that make cabling harnesses and ECUs where you can basically bypass all the emission bullshit on the Cummins diesel engines, right? So they've been selling these things aren't cheap. They're like a grand or two, and they've been selling them for years and years. It's very popular. All the gearheads love them. The government is going to the OEM manufacturers and forcing them to divulge the fucking names and addresses of their customers, and they're going to their fucking customers and penalizing them or threatening them with federal EPA violations. It's getting to be
Hmm.
a fucking police state. It's out of control.
Hey JP, so I just actually looked up with AI. I said how if you calculated every single internet service provider on the planet and every cell provider on the planet, what's the overall market cap of them all? And it's about $5 trillion. And think it's genuinely
Bro.
a very safe bet to say they will all die within 2 years of
What?
Starlink coming out.
Well, not
I,
Very
two,
safe.
not two.
Oh
I
my
I
No,
think
not
god.
two.
If Starlink dropped its own cell
Very
phone
safe bet.
provider, if you had the choice, if you bought a brand new iPhone and you had the choice of it being on Starlink or being on AT&T, you're going to choose Starlink 100 out of 100 times. It's not
Doesn't
even
Yeah,
it
Matt,
but
close.
no.
support it
Listen,
yet?
you need to refresh the handset cycle because it has to have this Samsung silicon in there to really work properly. That's the key. The handset has to have this new chip in it. Yeah, Apple will definitely adopt it, and they will definitely put it in, but it's going to be, years away on several generation cycles. Samsung is going to put it in their next flagship phone. That's for sure. It's their chip, guaranteed. So you have to buy a new handset to be able to utilize this Starlink cell service. So that's going to take some time to
Well, let's say
refresh the cycle.
hypothetically it takes over 1/4 of that market share. You still have a realistic price of
Oh yeah,
$2 trillion.
and it works
This is
globally. It
this is
works in the
this
middle
is
of the
putting
ocean.
this is putting the cart before the horse. I haven't
Well,
heard
but
how
to me it's a sure
Starlink's
thing bet.
offering. No, I understand how it's technologically more advantageous, but you haven't explained how it's cheaper. How will it be
Who else
cheaper?
has
It's
re-landing
free.
rockets? Who else
Dude,
has
it's
re-landing rockets
free.
to put these Starlinks, these satellites up?
got
Nobody has
got
it.
you can provide excellent 5G and 6G cell service on a rinky-dink tower today. That's cheaper than a
Yeah, but when
rocket.
I'm sitting
I'm
next to
trying
you
to
on
I'm
when I'm
trying to
sitting
get
next to
you.
you on an
Well,
airline
Rob,
and I'm
Rob.
using my phone and you're not, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, I want to be using my phone right now."
But
Yeah,
listen,
that's
Starlink can do
one
cell
that's
service
one
for
star
free.
that's one Starlink satellite. That's one Starlink receiver on the jumbo jet. You don't need it in the phone because the Starlink receiver on the jumbo jet pushes Wi-Fi to the jet. Like that. Again, I'm just trying to ask a very simple question: is you tell me the date that this Starlink mobile service that doesn't exist yet, you tell me when it's cheaper than Verizon and AT&T and T and all the others, and I will absolutely agree with you, like, all right, now the cell service providers have some serious problems. But like you're counting the chickens, you're counting the eggs before the chickens even
Well,
exist.
it was a more
W-
sure thing to buy Tesla stock in 2022, but the person in 2023 reaped the rewards. So it's like you got to it's like it's a gamble. It's all a gamble,
Well,
but it's an
te-
educated gamble.
Tesla was already pumping out Model 3s in the millions before 2022. Like what this is not
Yeah, it was more it's
you're
more of a
counting
sure
on
thing. It's just like
you're
it took
but
like 10 years for it to be coming to fruition. So it's going to take some time, but in that I would make the bet in
okay, but
5 years it's going to be a
Rob,
very very good thing to be in.
5 minutes ago you told me 2 years. That was you. 5 minutes ago you literally
I,
said
I
two
think
years.
I think that if they came out with the ability for an app for an iPhone to be on Starlink, I think within 2 years it would dominate everything. Yes, I do think that.
Listen, right
All
today,
right.
a small percentage
Well,
of the
that's step
10,000
one. Step one,
satellites
they
are Gen 2s.
But it might
okay,
take
that
it might
but
take two
that's
years to
that's
get to
step
that point,
one.
though. To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm just saying once the product is available for purchase,
Yeah.
2 years of utter domination.
I'm not disagreeing with you that they are one, the monopoly, and two, have a multi-year head start. Like Blue Origin is not even close. We were talking about them making fun of Bezos's rocket pad disaster earlier. um, but it I just disagree with the 2-year timeline. We're counting a service that technically doesn't exist yet.
What do you think the
That's
market cap would be in 5 years from today on Starlink on
I've
SpaceX?
heard just a guess.
Yeah, dude, we're just totally
um
guessing right now.
within so 5 years. Let's say by 2030. We'll just that's a nice even number. I'm gonna say 5 trillion under 5 years. Yeah,
That's very fair.
SpaceX.
That's a very
Yeah.
fair number.
Yeah, but Rob, that $5 trillion
Hey, don't
valuation,
tell no, McGee. All right,
that
go ahead.
five
Sorry.
trillion dollar valuation is probably going to be 95% everything else under SpaceX and 5%
Yeah.
Starlink.
Plus Tesla at a 1.5 or 1.7 valuation. So I mean, yeah, hey, like hey, you asked me what the market cap was. I think 5 trillion. I didn't say how it would get there, but
I'm
I'm
buying more. I'm literally like the thing that
all right.
my funny way about my convictions and things is if I have a
Yeah.
good argument about it, it's always very productive in a sense where like you can either enhance your conviction or you can lose your conviction, and I tend to get more
Rob, have you
deeper in
been
my
drinking?
conviction.
Rob, have you been drinking?
He's are you chewing on those gold bars? No, I mean honestly, I agree with you probably for a different reason, but I agree with you that Tesla shareholders are probably sitting pretty because Elon's going to come buy you out at a 20% premium, and you get, you get a very handsome uh uh uh, uh, slice of the pie of SpaceX for your troubles. And existing SpaceX shareholders might be pissed, but whatever. What do you care? You've been holding Tesla for however long, and you're about to be handsomely rewarded.
20% is handsomely rewarded. Did you see what fucking Dell did? Did you see what fucking boring ass companies are doing lately?
It looks perfect on paper. I mean, it really does. Everything does look perfect. If it went the way you guys are saying it's going to go, it's just, I just think it's too far in the future for us to even put our money or our thoughts into this being a reality. You know,
Oh, well, I mean, you misunderstand me. Like Tesla's share price can go higher or lower or sideways.
I'm
It
just
can
saying
go,
as a
it can go
whole.
anywhere. It can go anywhere, any direction you want. But like
Sure.
when Elon is ready to acquire Tesla into SpaceX, let's say Tesla has floated all the way up to 550 share price. I think you're still gonna get a 20% premium on top of that 550, just so Elon convinces a majority shareholders of Tesla to sign off on the deal. Like, shareholders aren't going to agree to a haircut, and they're not going to agree to like exact fair value. They're going to want some sweetener, and
What
20%
is the what
sounds
is the
good.
voting what is the voting shares for the voting rights for the P shares on SpaceX? Anybody know?
Yeah, zero.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Elon controls the whole thing, and you're along for the ride.
Literally, that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He did SpaceX smartly. He gave it the Zuckerberg Facebook treatment. So
Yeah,
like,
I was just going to say Zuckerberg. You took the words out of my mouth.
yep, 100%. I mean, he's no dummy. He's he's smart this time.
Like, use your fucking brain. Do you think Elon is out there trying to do favors for anyone and get them in on the ground floor of, no pun intended, a rocket ship when it comes to the price? Or have they run out of money that they can raise in private markets, because no one's willing to give them that retarded valuation, and they need all the retards on this app and on Robinhood and on the stock markets to buy their 5% float at the biggest, most retarded valuation that's ever hit any stock market indice. And he gives you zero voting rights, where you can't control anything, or it's legally impossible to get him off as a CEO. Like, what do you think's more likely? The
Yeah.
first situation that I told you, that Elon's looking to give two people favors, or do you think he's fucking pulling one over on you?
He wants to get you in, Magoo, before SpaceX is net profitable.
No,
That
he's trying
way
to get
you
no, he's trying to
what?
get me in on the ground floor of a
Yeah.
level 2 Carthage civilization where we're extracting 100% of the power from our sun in our solar
We're
system.
not even yeah, uh uh we're not even on Mars yet. We're not even out of the solar system yet, Magoo. You are literally on the actual ground floor with SpaceX today, and you just gotta ride this rocket ship, baby.
But the best part is the first 14 pages of the S1 filing are pictures of rockets. Like,
Yeah.
what more could you ask for?
How that is so bullish. That is like
So this is what's most likely going to happen. Like this is what's probably going to happen. So if SpaceX goes public, it probably goes up 20 to 30% in the first week. It stays there for a while. And then it just stays there. And
and
then
then
then they buy Tesla in basically probably Q1 of next year. They loot your shareholders by 40% to take in Tesla, 360p company that is selling the worst cars on the market. Um, and then it goes from a 3 trillion or just over a $3 trillion valuation. The stock market crashes and it goes down to a $1 trillion valuation.
But by then, the cellular
yeah.
service will be up and running.
No,
Come
definitely.
on,
Any
come
any
on.
any 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 timeline or date that Elon gives, you can add about 10 years to it.
Oh,
At least at least
I'm
10
oh,
years.
putting
truth
I'm
hurts.
going to put $1 million
Oh,
on each of
truth.
these companies. I'm going to literally put 1 million on each after this conversation. I'm not even
It
fucking
didn't
around.
Good
didn't
luck with
FS,
Bro,
that.
dude,
FSD is going
bro.
live in China. I think he convinced Chi to let him have it.
I'm fully convinced now. I'm fucking doing it.
Well,
Be my Matt if you or Rob if you want to put a
Yeah,
million dollars
whoa,
in,
whoa!
in
Don't put that on me.
no,
That's
no, no
Rob.
I'm going to blame Matt. So if you want to put $1 million on the most overpriced IPO in the most overpriced stock market in history, Matt, be my guest.
Fuck it.
All
It's
power to
not
We
you, buddy.
ball,
me.
Magoo.
Why
We
you
fucking
blaming?
ball. All
That's a.
right.
I don't even
Yeah, I
sound like
just rented
Rob.
fucking 14 private villas in a Greek island for the entire summer. I'm not wasting my money on SpaceX IPL.
Rob is the SpaceX gold maxi. I'm happy just sticking to buying Bitcoin in the bear market. I'm not chasing rockets here.
How
Magoo,
did that work out for you, Matt?
it's great. What are you talking about? We wait for years for the next Bitcoin bear market. Ask me, you really want me to flex on you this time next year in 2027 and 2028? I'm happy to
No,
pull these receipts.
the
I'd
real
be happy to
flex.
pull these receipts.
The real flex was always never being all in on one fucking thing. It just wasn't the real bet. The real bet was having a diversified situation and then leveraging that into buying some more. Like I could buy more Bitcoin now. I never sold any, but I could get more. Because I had other places I had my capital.
Yeah,
I think it wasn't smart to be all in on it, and I've always thought that.
well, I don't disagree with you there. Yeah, we were talking earlier about
That's a
how
pretty
how
bold
far
stance
I
to
can
take, though,
let.
Matt. Like that's not a
Well,
stance everybody likes in that space. They're
Well, there's no true, just like there's no true Scotsman, there's no true Bitcoin maxi. Like you can never measure up to someone else's definition. So I don't even try. But Magoo, there's a really good thesis that there's a really interesting thesis that the only reason SpaceX and Anthropic and even OpenAI are going IPO now is because all the money in the Middle East, like Oman and Qatar and Saudi and up as soon as this Iran conflict. They got to spend money on their own shores and infrastructure, and the oil money kind of dried up for 2025 and excuse me for 2026. So I mean, honestly, it kind of makes a lot of sense.
I can
These
actually
companies,
attest.
yeah,
I can actually attest. Not throughout the whole Middle East, but specifically in Dubai, I can
yeah.
attest that capital went from plentiful to non-existent in Dubai over the last 6 months.
I think they thought they were going to get a couple extra rounds out of the Middle East, and then their you know private money allocator said actually they're people are saying skip us and are drawing blanks, so I
It's
honestly I think
even
that's
wor-
why everyone stepped up their timeline.
it's even worse than that. The whole GCC narrative has gone to shit.
Well, you kind of Matt
Speak on
like
that.
the well. First of all, I want to talk about the reason why they're going public is like I said. The only reason why you ever go public is because you've run out of people to give you money in private markets at the valuations that you want, right? And yeah, the Middle East money dried up over the last 6 months, and it's not coming back online for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. Um, and everyone's
Yeah,
looking for a liquid event. And so the only place you can go is to the public markets to get these suckers to buy at these crazy valuations. Um,
yeah,
so and
yeah.
that's
I mean, honestly, it makes sense. Like they've gone through series A through G. If you're
yeah. Anthropics
Anthropic,
just
right?
rose around.
Yeah, that was their G, but that's their last. Now they've officially filed for IPO. And
Yep.
like you can't okay, so if Middle East is out, can you go to China? No.
No.
China's not even going to let these LLMs do business in the country, let alone want to invest in them. Can you do Europe? No, Europe's all wrapped around the axle of everything is safety, and gee, we just aren't sure about moving this fast, and we want to pause and assess and do this and that study. And they don't even like Elon anyway, so SpaceX never was going to see a round out of Europe. So yeah, I
It's
think
it
they had to go
Matt.
public. I
It's
think they had to.
it's the most expensive stock market in U.S. history. Like this is
Yeah.
the primo time for any company to go public, unless you're a Bitcoin
Well,
company
the question
or
is
a
going to be,
crypto
do you think
company.
this new Fed chair, do you think Trump would ever put a Fed chair that isn't going to lower the rates? They're saying he's going to be hawkish,
Yeah,
but I highly doubt this guy isn't going to lower the rates. If that's a contrarian
he will
petro man,
eventually. I
I
think.
think
I
it's going
think
to be
he'll.
faster than you think.
What do you? When do you think?
2027.
I think
2027.
December is
Dude,
earliest.
he was damn near going to
Yeah.
imprison Powell to make him lower the rates. He was like, he was going
That
to do
was
anything in his
pre
power.
Nah, that was pre-Iran conflict.
Pre Iran.
You checked
What
inflation
Yeah, but
lately? You
he's
checked the
trying to.
gas
I
lately?
think he's trying to strengthen the dollar to then hit it. And I think what's going to happen is the petro. I think all of this is all about the petrodollar. I think in the first step it was the Panama Canal. The second step was Venezuela. The third step was getting everything set up in Texas. The fourth step was stealing all the oil tankers, and then the fifth step was blocking off the Strait of Hormuz. Because now people are looking at the Strait of Hormuz like downtown LA at midnight. I can walk downtown LA at midnight, but I don't really fucking want to. I don't really feel like it. It doesn't get me off. So they're going to go, everybody's going to look at the Strait of Hormuz now after all of this situation and go, actually, I'd rather go to Texas to get my oil. Fuck that.
No, this was no
Yeah, and that's why
this
inflation's basically probably going to print a five handle. They're not cutting
yeah.
when inflation's fucking 4%.
Yeah. It's
what's going to
three
come home?
we
What's
just
going to
got
come
three
first, the
eight.
cut or QE?
A
They,
cut.
they,
You
they
can't
got
do
a strength. Well, the
QE.
DXY's held
Yeah.
pretty strong over this whole period. It's actually been a pretty strong dollar through all this.
Yeah, it's because they haven't cut.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
and when that cut
look at
happens, that
Tucson look at
skyrockets the
Tucson
market. It doesn't
Times.
crash it. It's going to skyrocket Bitcoin. It'll
No.
skyrocket metals. It'll
So
skyrocket the stocks. Everything.
that
No,
was
not.
Rob, that was the thesis. You're absolutely right, where like, okay, first we're gonna do Panama Canal, then we're gonna wrap up Venezuela, then we're gonna take care of Iran, swip swap swap, they're done, and then we're gonna roll on Cuba. They didn't appreciate that Iran might not just fall over like a house of cards, and that February was almost half a year ago, and we're still I mean,
That was
honestly, we're not any
the
closer to
biggest,
peace today than we
the
were in
biggest,
February.
the biggest blunder and miscalculation in
Yes.
Trump's I bet you his entire legacy is going to be basically this. That's what this is going to be.
Yeah.
If you look back at Trump's presidency in 20 years, it's going to be this Iran conflict.
Yeah. Israel told him that they would roll over Iran and it would be a done deal, maybe 48 hours, maybe a week. You lop off the heads of state and the Ayatollah, and the whole thing comes crashing down. They didn't understand that, like, nah, it's just next man up. They don't care. They don't care. They really don't care.
But did you see that torpedo hit that ship though? Did you see that?
I
That was
mean,
some pretty wild shit, dude.
Yeah, the best torpedoes when they hit that school full of girls. That was a great torpedo.
yeah.
That's too soon, Magoo. That's too soon.
Man,
The,
that's
No,
fucking
it just
that's fucking embarrassing. I know exactly how, coming out of DIA and DOD, I know exactly how that shit happens, and it's fucking sad. That's just pure laziness and no one updating like
that's been
you
confirmed with the schoolgirl situation.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
99%.
And the
It's
reason
fucked.
yeah, what this is you
Palantir
have
Autopilot. That's what that was.
Yeah, no, honestly, because how it used to get done is you used to have human analysts and geo analysts poring over all of these locations and constantly checking and rechecking and rechecking to make sure, is this still a military installation? Is this still army personnel? Did this get converted into a hospital? Is this now literally an elementary school?
Yeah,
And
that's FSD
they
by
turn
CARP.
but they turned it over. They turned it over to Palantir on autopilot. And hey, we used Palantir 10 years ago and 15 years ago, but it always got double and triple checked by a human. That's what stopped. They just yeah, the autopilot's good enough, and who needs the double check? And that's how you bomb a school.
Double
With a
tap. Don't
stealth
forget
cruise
it was double
missile.
tapped. Don't forget it was
Yeah.
double
Yeah, it
tapped.
was a double
Oh
tap.
yeah. Well, they because they didn't realize the mistake till Al Jazeera and CNN were on site. So
It's very scary to me thinking if Trump is compromised in some way by Israel. It's a very scary
There is
thought.
if
zero
if
percent chance that he's
if
not.
I
Yeah.
understand. I'm with it at this point. It's very scary to me.
Yeah. Compromised, or he gives them, he takes them at their word way too much. Like it's the same thing in the end, honestly.
No, I
What
think they have to have him on APAC support in terms of the Epstein files. I think that's the
mm,
most likely thing. Like it seems so obvious that they basically probably said like if you don't do this, like you we're gonna lose support of like APAC senators or congressmen, and we're gonna release everything in the Epstein files.
did you see that leaked?
It's
I
crazy. That sounds
Yeah.
fucking retarded to say, but like, why else? Like the other side of the coin is Trump has a fucking ego, and maybe he just got through Venezuela in a day and kidnapped Madudu. Um, Now maybe his ego was so inflated to where he it doesn't matter what BB said or the IDF said. He was in his ear. He said, "Oh, I could take care of this Iran problem that has been pestering the United States for the last 30, 40 years. I could be the guy in the history books, and if I did Venezuela in a day, I can do Iran in a week. I can
Yeah.
do boom boom hit here, and I can win. And
I think
I'm
it's
not gonna
literally
let."
that simple, Magoo. I think it was
And I'm
literally.
not going to listen to any of my advisors or generals who told me that we're not going to be able to cut the head of the snake off and claim victory. And he did it
But what exactly
anyways.
are they
And
fighting with at this point? Like what?
missiles, they still have fully capable hypersonic missiles
Yeah.
that have clearly the ability to project power well beyond their borders.
to
And
sink
the
a fucking carrier, that's what their
and the
capability
str-
is.
in the well the in the strait is littered with mines, and so
Yeah.
except
If
for a
let
sliver of a
Yeah.
passage.
Yeah. Like let's put it this way. If they actually decided to take the fleet in those carriers through the straits, probably like half of them would be sunk.
Yeah.
Iran would
Yeah.
open up with hypersonic missiles. They have no defense. Like that carrier has zero chance of stopping 3 or 4 hypersonic ballistic missiles being shot at it.
What that in the dumb the dumb sea mines that just rest on they rest on the seafloor
I
until
don't even know
you
if they have
activate.
those. They keep saying that there's mines, but like, do they really have mines there?
I
Dude,
mean,
they're
it's
Like,
really
they're
a
the
great thing to
cheapest.
say if you think about it. Like, yeah, they're there. They're somewhere over there. But believe me, bro. If you want to
Yeah,
test
but
it,
they're
you want to
the
test it out, bro. Go check it out.
it's yeah, but it's the easiest, cheapest option. Like
yeah, it is.
they like Russia mass produces these. Like
Haven't they
you've
said like
had
we don't know where they are, but they're there, sort of thing? We forgot about them. We can't find them anymore, sort of
Yeah,
shit. Like
pretty,
they're just
there.
around.
Well,
Well,
there
you
is
just said the
hundreds of
key.
billions. There's hundreds of billions, if not trillions, being gummed up in the strait. If it was all posturing, if it was all weapons of mass destruction, oh oops, we don't actually have any. They would have already figured that out a long
But the
time
thing is,
ago.
even us talking about it, do you know how strong that makes the dollar if everybody has to come get their oil from us? Like it's massive for the dollar. If that Strait of Hormuz is that scary, nobody wants to fucking go through there. It's too
yeah,
risky.
but you know what the problem? You know what the problem is? You just created an energy shortage. There's no way Texas can make up a 20% shortfall in global energy,
Yeah.
and you have basically not just inflation and supply chain. You have shortages and emergencies globally. The global economy goes into a massive depression.
It's still
That
in that oil. Let's even say that Texas. Let's say that Texas can meet the worldwide demand. If all of a sudden you've got it
Well,
literally
Venezuela
shipped.
actually.
Fine, Venezuela too. Whatever, both of them. If you've literally got to import it from the other side of the globe instead of practically next door in the Middle East, like if you're India or you're Pakistan or you're China or like think of all the manufacturing hubs in Central and Southeast Asia,
it's not
and
even the same oil.
right, but even if it was the same perfect oil, it's 2x and 3x more expensive to get it on the other side of the globe. The end. Like that's just it. Even if you had enough supply to meet everyone's demand, congrats, it's 2x more expensive, if not 3x more
So
expensive.
Also,
what's your
Putin.
thesis on how this plays out though, based on where we are today? Like what just we're just for the rest of the Trump's presidency, you just can't pull it off, and it's just he's fucked.
No, he
No,
has to
he
pull it
was
off in the
this he
next
was this
4 weeks.
close. He was this close to pulling it off, but like if so like Iran and US had a handshake deal. We're ready to sign on the dotted line until Netanyahu was like, "Nah, I don't like it," and stepped up his bombing over in Lebanon and outskirts of Syria. Like that's he like Israel purposely sunk this latest version of the peace deal because they
Which
don't
is the
want
same shit that's been going
Israel.
on. Arafat did that in Camp David.
Yeah.
It's been going on forever.
Israel doesn't want peace with Iran. They don't give two shits about the rest of global economy or the world. They're they're looking for acquiring land and power in their region. They want to be the superpower of the Middle East, and Iran is their enemy since time immemorial.
The
So
Kalergi plan.
they're not
Iran is the
interested. Yeah,
last country on the Kalergi plan.
they're not
That's all they
interested.
give a shit about.
They couldn't give two shits about Trump's midterm problems in this fall. They're in it to win it. And like him or hate him or don't care about him, like that's just how they are. So they were all too happy to sink this version of the peace deal that almost happened a couple weeks ago. Maybe we get a new one over the summer here, but uh that's the pro like Trump's ready for peace, Iran's ready for peace, but it's Israel over here that's like, sorry, we're not going to let you forget about us.
A little birdie came to me yesterday, and he's like, "Do you know about JFK? The one thing he really didn't want was them to have nukes, and then suddenly, boom, in the head." Just that's what the birdie told me one time. He's like, "No, Israel, you can't have nukes." Boom, boom, boom.
All your small hat wearing friends, Rob, right?
Hey, I'm an undercover one. I didn't even know I was. They just mixed me up in that shit.
Yeah, you woke up and then your fucking half your dick was chopped off.
And that's not even on the mom
Mhm.
side. It's on the other side. So I'm not even welcome over there. I'm like they're like, oh, you're not even a real one. You're 50% on the dad side. It doesn't count.
Wait, I thought the
Next,
wait, what's that? Is it the
it's the
mommy?
mother side of
It's
the
the mother's side.
Jews.
Oh,
If you're
Technically,
Ashkenazi
I'm a
Jew,
goy, just like you
I always
guys.
forget.
goyim.
We're all goyim up here, dude. We're all even if I have 50%, I'm still a goyim.
I'm wearing my hat right now.
Maternal
Um,
bloodline. That was changed out of convenience throughout history also.
there's no
Didn't
bloodline. They're fucking mutts.
Yeah,
Everyone's a mutt.
it's
Everyone's
an
a fucking mutt.
it's a nice story, but like,
I
didn't they
bet you if I
grant
go get my DNA tested, I'm probably fucking half African. My dick's so big.
if you donate enough money or enough lobbying, like your grandfather did too. Like, didn't Madonna buy her way in? Like, she's get to be an
Yeah,
honorary Jew.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, Israel does not want a peace deal. And the thing is, Trump, for all intents and purposes, Trump actually is kind of his hands are tied because like he can't afford. I don't mean literally. I mean figuratively. Can't afford this war to go on much longer because realistically, this inflation is going to kill the economy. It's only going to get worse, and it's going to start getting worse than inflation. It's going to be shortages, fertilizer, nitrogen, like all these byproducts that come specifically from that type of oil that comes from fucking the Straits of Hormuz. And so, what was the last headline number, Matt? Or what? Actually,
3-8,
3.8. And
3-8. It's
what
a
was the M over M? It was something stupid.
1.1.5 is something. Or wait, no, is that too high? It was like, because the previous one was 3.2, so there you go. It's like point 0.5,
Yeah,
something
it's
like
and
that.
the next print's going to be even worse.
It's going to be over 4% regardless.
Yeah,
Because too much time has passed. The next one will be over 4%.
and
But if you can get a peace, if you can get some sort of extended ceasefire or even medium
no, but
term, long term
ceasefire
peace
means
deal,
nothing. You have to get the straits open. Even a ceasefire does nothing
yeah, you're right. No,
because
you really are.
I don't even think at this point you this next print is going to be bad. The print after is going to be bad as
Yeah.
well, right?
It's guaranteed going to be over
For
4%.
the next two
Think,
prints.
You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
another thing you haven't even
Low to mid
we haven't even
4%.
touched on is the GCC states going to the Fed for a repo window.
Yeah, well,
That's
they
another link
basically
Yeah.
factor.
they
Well, yeah, because they're
they're
broke. They're
broke.
broke. They can't sell their oil, can't sell their
Products, natural
natural
gas, yeah.
gas.
So they were going to
Yeah,
the states, being like, "You caused this war, you fucking retards. Give us money."
bail us out.
Or we'll dump your paper.
Well, yeah,
That's
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what they're
sell the.
threatening.
Yeah, you want us to sell your treasuries? You want to see twos and tens pop above 5%? Well,
The question is,
we'll
like,
That's
how,
what.
how is China feeling with all this shit going on? Because they take
Wait,
what,
wait, wait,
thirty
hold on.
percent of their oil's
Don't change
coming.
it. No, don't
pissed.
just stay
China's
with this. Stay
pissed.
with this. The
Go ahead.
clarity. We were
Yeah.
talking about the Clarity Act earlier, right? The whole thing is for stables to tokenize the treasuries to keep the dollar alive.
It's too
That's the
small.
whole bottom
It's
line.
no, but it's too I mean, hey,
It's small right
over
now, but
10 to 20 years,
that's the long term
sure,
game
but
plan. But tomorrow it doesn't
yeah.
help.
But
Yeah.
the whole M2 is going to be converted to fractional treasuries. Our bank deposits are going to become stables. Every every
Yeah.
every every dollar holder is going to become a T-bill holder. That's where we're going. The
Yeah,
whole
that's
M2
where
is
we're
going to be
going over the
Yeah,
next
tokenized.
50 years.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Like this is their way to kick the can for another 50 years, but it doesn't, like, you better stay long Bitcoin, you better stay long gold, you better stay long
But the crazy thing
the
is, throughout
best
the
cash revenue
entire
companies.
Iran conflict, the DXY has gone up.
Yeah. People are fleeing
Cleanest
to
cleanest
safety.
sturdy shirt in the laundry.
Yeah,
But
that
that's
makes
isn't
that makes
that
total
wild to think
sense,
about?
Rob.
That it's been going. It's at 99.33 right now. It's on.
That is the most obvious thing to happen,
Yeah.
Matt. That's the consensus.
Rob, Magoo, Rob. These wild takes are Rob. It's not me.
Like, I know, like, oh, sorry, I keep fucking saying your name wrong, Rob. That's the consensus when you're dealing with a bunch of
It's
shitty.
provocative. It gets the people going.
Yeah,
All
but it's
right.
obvious DXY in a fucking crisis like we're in is always going to be the fucking stronger currency because you're comparing it to like the Turkish fucking lira and the euro or the British pound or the Canadian dollar or the Australian dollar or the fucking Brazilian real or the fucking colone or the peso or you fucking name it. Like,
Man, Canada just needs to
Dinars.
be
Don't forget the
America
dinars.
North. We need America North, and that's Canada. I think that's what we're going
Canadar
for.
dollars.
I don't think you
No,
want to drop
we were
Canada.
already
They're in a recession right now.
Yeah,
we were
they'd be
already
lucky
ragging
to
on
be
Canada.
America. Those little fuckers up there would be lucky to be America.
No, you want 55, what, how many million they got?
40.
55, 60 million, for, oh,
You
40.
could
Well,
fit
whatever.
them in California.
I don't I don't think we
I
need.
want their oil and their land. I think we do imperialism and we take them over. I want them.
We have plenty. We're energy independent.
Yeah,
What?
but
Why do we
we
need
could use a
Canada's
little
oil?
bit more, Matt. We could use a little bit
You're
more.
Rob. You want to? Yeah, you're gonna get 40 million votes that not necessarily have anything in agreement with you. Why don't you just buy their oil for cheap if you
Wait,
even
wait,
need
wait,
it?
Matt. Let it happen because then
Okay.
next
All right.
election he's gonna be fucking Bernie Sanders gonna be president.
God.
That's what would happen.
No, no. We have a king. We have a king, Magoo. We're gonna have a king for a while now, and that's it.
No, you probably have at this stage.
Hmm.
Trump is probably the worst president since George Bush.
You really
If
think
there's an
so? You
election,
really think so?
He's ru-
Ber-
Yep.
Bernie,
Dude.
if there's an election,
Rob,
or Gavin.
look at the favorable surveys. Look at the polls,
Yeah,
man.
he's the most
Well,
unpopular
we would
president.
all be dead if Kamala won. We would have all been dead. So at least
I
we're
don't
like still alive. You know.
I don't think
Isn't
so.
that
I think Bitcoin
isn't
might have been higher actually.
isn't that what they always say though? Like, you better be grateful for George W. Bush because you would have had Gore. Like, I don't know.
Hey, if Bush wasn't there, at least we'd still have the twin towers. You know, like if
Yeah, and
we
$3 trillion, and Matt would still have his hair.
It's tough, but
there
it's
would be
true.
two beautiful towers in the skyline in New York if Bush never was president.
You sure about that? That seemed like a
Wait, what?
pretty
I
planned
don't know
deal.
about that. I think APEC. I know what you're saying, but
No, he's saying
I
it was an
think
inside
APEC
job.
donates to all
It was
sides.
an
Yeah,
inside
I
job.
think.
No, no, some dudes with box cutters perfectly flew into these things and had a perfect free falling building. It was all normal. It was normal stuff. It just happened that way.
Yeah, and Shanksville didn't have a shred of
Yeah.
metal on the ground either.
Yeah, and a plane hit
Well,
the
I mean,
Pentagon
hey,
too. A real plane. It was a
we
real plane, not a
we could
rocket.
we can play the what if, but I think it's very interesting how I think it was JD Vance was openly talking about what if he doesn't run next in 2028? What if he
I
just,
told you, Matt,
what
he
if he takes
wouldn't.
a
I told
hiatus?
you he wouldn't.
Yeah, and I was like, but he's inside track, and I was like, you
No.
really think Marco Rubio? But like,
N-
boy, that seems like the smart money's on Rubio
No
now.
one wants to run as a Republican. I'm telling you, Democrats are going to clean house in
Yeah.
2028. No,
Well, it's no, they don't want to follow Trump. That's the
well,
problem.
yeah,
Unless Trump pulls it off. If he pulls it
he's not
off,
putting anything off. I guarantee it.
Pull what off? Like, do you realize?
He's
So
so unpopular.
you, if we go back to what this Iran peace deal is going to look like, he's probably going to have to give them back a couple 100 billion of freezed assets. It's going to look ugly.
Those maniacs will blow up, wipe Beirut off the face of the map before there's a peace deal.
Who's going to blow up
Who,
Beirut?
Israel? Who, Israel?
Yeah,
Oh, you mean in
W-
Lebanon? Yeah,
was
yeah,
that
yeah.
a real story where
exactly.
Trump was flipping out on Netanyahu recently, like within the last
Yeah,
day? Was that a
It's
real story, or
probably
was
that
that?
was
it's probably
that was
shreds of
real.
truth.
Not only no, not only was it real, it was strategically leaked. Like Trump wanted to get Trump's see like think the 3D chess move is Trump knows that another day of no peace is another day closer to midterms and a loss of popularity. Like he's floating the person in the country to blame for why there's no peace. It's actually kind of smart. So like, let's say we don't get a real peace treaty in the Strait of Hormuz with Iran. What if 1 week turns into 1 month, turns into 1 quarter? You do need someone to blame. So
Yeah, I
he's
don't think
laying
the
the
American
groundwork to blame
population. I
Israel.
don't think the American
But
population are going.
there's some, I think, I don't know. I think there's some bipartisan anger and angst and what's the word I'm looking for? There's like bipartisan sentiment
Yeah, there
of
is,
like,
but they're
will
not.
Israel cut it
There,
off?
there is that. There's the a movement, the anti-APAC movement. But when it comes to the
Yeah.
midterms, everyone's going to be blaming Trump for the Iran war, even though if it was Bibi's fault and Israel's fault, they're going to blame Trump at the polls.
No, you're probably right. I mean, you're probably right. But I think that I think he purposely had that leaked to Axios.
Which is kind of retarded. Like it's leaked because he wants like people to see that. But like if you're actually Trump, like you would get on the phone to Bibi and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right?
Well,
But
that
that's what
was
he
kind of
said.
what the
But that
leak
is what he
was. That was
said.
like
That's what he
literally,
said.
that was literally verbatim
Yeah.
what the leak was. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
like,
That
but why?
the quotes are hilarious. I love the
Like, do you think
quotes.
that conversation
He's
actually happened, or do you think that was just a fake leak?
Yeah. No, no, I think it was a real
I
leak.
think it's a mixture of both, where it's like it's been wildly
Yeah.
unpopular to be supportive of Israel right now, and it's a bad look for him based on it, and so it's kind of like to get for the
Well, he
midterms
kind
and
of
all
did
that.
start this war. Like, you
Yeah.
can't deny that. Like, that's the thing you can't come back from. Like, Trump started this war
Yeah.
of aggression. Like, the whole, like, you have to be like literally a Luddite to believe that Iran was anywhere close to having a nuclear weapon, right? Like, it's the fucking
Yeah.
WMD story all over again. Was even proof, right?
Yeah.
And so he
Well,
went
we
to war.
carpet bombed them with B-52 bombers before this altercation. They already had done that
Yeah, I know. Then they
operation.
said they were victorious or whatever they did, but clearly they weren't, or maybe they never had any nuclear material to begin with. Who knows? And
Well, there's a so much to do about the sites they did bomb. There's a I'm not going to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try bothering. But there's a massive nuclear site that's literally a mile
yeah,
underground
that's what they
that they
hit with
didn't
the
even
bunker
bother.
busters.
No, 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 that they didn't even bother bombing because it wouldn't, like, it was too deep to even bother. So this attack, this conflict, they went after it and try to just completely bury the entrance to it and maybe seal it off that way. But so yeah, there, I don't know. There's a nuance there,
Yeah, well,
and this is also the site that they want to, like, hey, what if we flew in and
yeah. Do
and
you think,
and
hey
took their
Matt, what's your? I
uranium
don't know
out
if I've
and
ever
yeah.
asked you, but that whole
Yeah.
shenanigans operations where they got caught with their pants down. Do you think that was
Yeah.
actually an rescue operation, or do you think that they were running an op and then one of the jets got shot down, and that basically led to people searching the area that caught them with their pants down while they're doing the operation?
I mean, it's there's always multiple operations going on simultaneously, and the first thing that I've got no alpha, I've got no insight, but when everyone is all looking over here, hey, look over here, look what I'm doing over here, of course you're trying to run something that was always an objective over there on the other side of the room, on the other side of the country. That's just good common sense, that's just good practicality, trick and
Do you
illusion.
think those? Do you think
Absolutely.
that F-15 even went down?
I don't know. I
It
never
could have been
like.
unmanned. Also, if it did go down, it could have been unmanned.
Yeah,
It could
because
have
do you
been.
think, like, to me,
Yeah.
if these pilots really went down, you would think if they rescued both of them, you would think that they would put them in the limelight and basically put them out in the public view and basically pin medals on their chest, but they you never
Oh,
seen their faces once.
oh!
Well,
Did
I'm
did
sure
did, did you see? Did you
the
hear where
first
they
thing
said
they
they
did.
detected their
Yeah.
heartbeats? That's how they
Yeah,
found
that
them.
sounded gay too.
From fucking ridiculous.
Well, you don't know what their personal politics are. They might have quickly decided like these are not going to be positive publicity for us, so let's memory hold
Yeah,
them.
maybe they're
Like,
trannies. Maybe they're trans. They didn't want to put them on the public.
yeah,
You
they
want to know
might
the
have.
whole irony about the nuclear
Hmm.
situation is Israel had originally said the same thing that Iran was saying when they wanted a nuke. They're like, oh no, it's just for our reactors and stuff. We just want to use like a little bit of uranium, just a little bit. And then JFK's like, no, 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 don't do that. Boom, 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 shoot him in the head a few times. Then all of a sudden, boom, oh, all of a sudden now we have real ones. Wow, look at that, they're real ones. Oh my gosh, nobody else can have them though. We got them now. Nobody else can have them. Not you, Iran. None of you.
Well, there's a problem with this. So, like, I mean, nuclear technology is almost a century old, and every single decade we go farther from the 1930s and the 1940s. It's getting harder and harder to prevent century old technology from every country that's interested. Like, where does this eventually go? Are we just, you know, are, is it U.S. policy to bomb any future country ever from
Yes.
developing nuclear energy? Because
Yeah.
that I don't know if
Look,
American people are going to
my
support that.
take is Israel shouldn't have them. I want Israel to not have any of them. They should not have
So,
any weapons of mass destruction. Period. Point blank.
well, how are you going to stop that? Are we
It's
going
too
to
late. We fucked up. We let them have them.
Well,
You know, like that. But
there is some.
let them?
they
Let
should
them.
never have
There
them.
is.
So that's the point. So so either you care about everyone, or you just, or like, you know what, it's just gonna happen.
Well,
So
I say there needs to be a president that says we're going to cut all funding to Israel. Period. If you do not hand over your nuclear weapons, you should not have them at all. You should not have any of them because they're just too crazy. They can't have those kind of weapons. They're just not allowed
they
to
would
have
just
them.
use them. Honestly, that's
yeah,
how
what?
fucking retarded Israel is. And to that for on that point though, like if Israel didn't have nuclear weapons, the chance of like them being invaded in the last 20 years is probably pretty high. So the only reason why they
Yeah.
haven't been invaded is because they have nukes. Because like I'm not like super anti-Israel, but like Israel's entire military is funded by the US. And if Israel didn't have the direct support of the United States, Iran would probably actually wipe the floor with Israel in a conflict. Like even look at the conflict now. It was Iran versus Israel being fully supplied by US and US military, not Air Force and naval assets protecting Israel's airspace. And Iran was still basically at the end, realistically hitting any target they wanted to hit inside of Israel. Like, what
Yeah,
would happen if Israel didn't have the United States military helping them defend their
Yeah, but
airspace?
the asymmetric warfare
you could
economically
have.
can't go on. You're using $3 or $4 million missiles to shoot down $50,000
They would
drones.
stop throwing stones in the glass house is what would happen. They would
If
stop
it,
throwing stones at people as if they couldn't do, if they didn't have the US giving them all these weapons and things, they would stop provoking everybody and they'd start just being cool. You know, like
yeah,
they have this power trip because of it and it's not cool. I don't at
yeah,
least my feeling on it, you know.
yeah. If it was purely defensive tech, Iron Dome, sure, U.S. will sell all that Israel wants, but the problem is it doesn't stop there. Northrop Grumman and you name it, they want to sell Israel every single advanced offensive weapon system too. And why not? They're just trying to make a buck. It's capitalism.
No, that's
But
not true, dude, at all. The
But
interceptors
unfortunately,
are
Israel wants to.
too
No,
expensive.
what is it? What does that matter if it's Israel wants to use it, and they want to, and they're aggressive
But the
and
US is
looking to
paying for it.
expand on every border.
The interceptors themselves are like $1 million a pop. They're shooting down
Okay.
$50,000 drones with $1 million missiles, even for David Sling and everything. It's all the same
Well, not
as
only
far as the asymmetric
And yeah,
economics.
and
yeah. Well,
they don't care.
yeah, but the
What do they
U.S.
care?
gives them a lot of that money to buy from U.S.
Yep.
military providers, and on top of that, every last airstrike that Israel did on Iran in this conflict was 100% because of the U.S. You cannot fly those F-35s to Iran and back. They got
Well,
refueled in the air by U.S. refuelers.
And Iran has killed
it's
about 5 or 6 of those KC-135s have been blown up on the ground in Saudi Arabia. We only have like 30 of them.
Yeah, they're definitely really.
yeah. Everything. It's not like what 30 forever until the Earth freezes over. They
30
just
or
rebuild
40 of them
more.
they have. They only have
Northrop
like
Grumman
40 of them.
until they build some
Yeah, until
more.
they build
Like
some more.
Northrop Gr- Boeing, Northrop Grumman, you name it. Like blow up more, please. We want to sell you more of these
Yeah.
planes. You know that this is just industrial war complex on its literal most profitable year since Russia Ukraine in 2022. Like they
Yeah.
couldn't care less. They let the conflict go into 2027 for all they care. Like that's the problem. Israel doesn't want peace. The war industrial complex doesn't want peace. You know, so
You
it's
know something
frustrating, but
crazy? If it was Israel in the same position that Russia's in with it was Ukraine, they would have for sure used a nuke on Ukraine. 100%. If it was Israel versus Ukraine, would have immediately used it. And Russia hasn't used it, but has way more capabilities than
I
Israel
don't.
does, but
I don't
hasn't.
even think Russia's really trying in Ukraine. They're not really deploying their actual
Dude,
military.
they've lost hundreds of thousands of people. Like
Yeah,
hundreds
they
and
yeah,
have.
hundreds of
yeah,
They
but
thousands of people have died.
they have plenty of those people to use. They haven't really mobilized their
They
actual.
have plenty of those. Like, how
No, that's
crazy! Those words are so crazy to say about a human life. They have
no. I
plenty. They
know,
have
but
plenty of
that's
those
yeah.
people to lose.
yeah. But
They're
like
robots. They just lose them.
no, but
Yeah,
like
but that's
that's
how they defeated the Germans in World War II. They literally just
yeah.
threw
Do you know how
enough
many millions of
meat fodder at
Russians
them.
died in World War II?
Yeah,
Like fucking
five
tens of
million.
millions.
I thought it was
Wasn't
five,
it
right?
more than
It
that?
was the ultimate
10?
sacrifice. It was more than it was like 50 million. It was
No,
about
it was a
50
No, whoa,
million.
lot. It
whoa,
was
whoa,
more
whoa,
than
whoa.
five.
No, I
It
mean,
wasn't 50. I think
unless
it was
if you're
10. Let
that
me Google.
Oh no, excuse me,
50.
excuse me, excuse me. No, 15 million. 15 million.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay,
15.
okay. I was gonna say, and that must, and
It,
that's
it was
probably
it was
counting
substantially
civilian
more.
casualties
It was
too.
substantially more than how many Jews were killed in the
The,
Holocaust.
the
Is what I
point is,
remember reading.
Putin's
That's
fighting
a
with his
weird
hand tied behind
stat
his
that you
back.
remember. That's a weird way to remember it.
It was double. I remember it being double the amount,
That's
more than
how I
double the amount.
remember it. That's how I remember it. That it's more than
I
double.
compare. Oh,
Yeah, see,
that's how I compare all
that's the
big numbers.
tism. That's a tism right
That's
there, bro.
That's
yeah.
how I
That
remember. That's how I knew it was between 10 and 15 because I knew it was double how many Jews died.
That's exactly how I
is that
remembered it too.
is that how you mentally calculate different populations? Like New York City
No,
is
no,
twice
not
the
in
number of
population.
Jews that
I just
died in
No,
the
remember, no, like
Holocaust.
genuinely though, I remember thinking to myself, like, don't get the respect that they deserve because
no.
Oh,
you
When it
think
okay,
comes,
about.
no, when it came to
okay,
World War
okay.
II casualties, I know that there was 5 million Jews. I know that there was
Yeah.
more than double Russians that died. I know that there was close to 1 to 2 million Canadians that died. There was close to 1 million Americans that died. There was close
Wow.
to 1 million European like soldiers that died, and then the European public was like another few million. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people dead in World War II.
Nico, are
I
you
thought
drinking that
Europe.
Kool-Aid? Are you drinking that Kool-Aid that there was really 5 or 6 million Jews that killed?
Whoa,
Well,
calm down there, calm down there.
bro,
You know,
we got a
Whoa.
wooden
don't
door.
be
All right.
talking about the Red Cross numbers
Here
and
we
stuff. All
Bro,
go.
right, we're not trying.
he's got
Here
the
we go.
wooden door meme. No, but Russia's not really.
300,000,
Yeah,
300,000.
Russia's not really fighting a war. Like
They're
they
doing
call
the
it that.
attrition. They're trying
Yeah,
to
they're
win
doing
the
the
attrition.
attrition.
Yeah.
Putin's
They're
got
not.
his
Do you,
hand tied behind his
It's
back.
like
yeah,
It's
do you
like
think
Chechnya.
they're not flying jets
No,
into Ukraine? They're not doing any of that. There's no
Correct.
air. There's no air. It's just drones that they're launching for $5 a pop
And
and letting hypersonic.
hypersonic missiles, yeah. But
Yeah, that's
the
it. They're not
yeah,
sending in any artillery. They're not sending any like real tanks. They're not sending any air force because it's too valuable. They don't
yeah,
want to lose it.
He
yeah.
started
The,
off with the antiques from the warehouse from World War II at the
Yeah, yeah,
beginning.
he did. He
yeah,
if you
getting rid of
the
the
funniest.
surplus shit. Yeah.
It's so funny because you could like because that's what they kind of did to Blitzkrieg, the videos of them just plowing through the border and the Ukrainian border. But then like less than like 20 kilometers into the border, you see all these like antiques at the side of the road because they broke down.
Yeah, that's how far it made it. No, it's
Yeah,
true. Russia has one of the largest modern assault helicopter fleets, and you don't see them at all. At all. Like close trench warfare, close combat. That's all we see on the Russia Ukraine front in eastern Ukraine.
I've seen some
Perfect,
crazy
perfect.
videos.
Yeah, but like this is a environment that is perfect for close air support of your attack helicopters. You don't see them at all. They're not bothering. They're too expensive, too valuable. Russia doesn't want to use them.
Yeah, they're saving that for NATO. No, they're not. They're not going
I
to
think
fight NATO, but
I
they're
think they're
saving
still.
them.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do the attrition thing, Magoo.
Yeah,
Still.
well, because well, the what, and I'm a retard, so take this with a huge grain of salt. I think the reason why they're going down the attrition route, obviously, the one side is to save their actual military equipment, and they're even really light on all of their supersonic missiles. They literally launched supersonic missiles like 2 weeks ago with duds in them, just to prove that they could beat any air defense system they want anytime.
Yeah, I saw
But
that. I saw. Oh, sorry. Go.
it was their new supersonic nuclear capable multi-detachable
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
warhead.
multiple
Their
warhead ICBM,
intercontinental,
yeah,
latest
yeah,
and
their
greatest.
ICBM. They tested it in Ukraine, but they put just steel slugs instead of warheads.
yeah,
And this thing was like a fucking. It was going something like Mach 10 coming into the atmosphere and then breaking up into like seven warheads and just
Exactly.
supersonic after that. So
yeah.
like, and it just and you should have seen some of the aftermath of like these steel slugs hitting buildings. Like just the slugs were just like
It was. It was.
demolishing
It was
buildings.
putting a hole. It was like putting a hole in the building the size of a house. It was
Yeah,
nuts.
Dude, put
Because
these
there's no.
yeah,
put
You have
these
no
videos in the
explosion. It's just the
nest. I want to
kinetic.
see this shit.
yeah.
It's just
And
the
but
kinetic
my
impact.
yeah, the kinetic energy. But I think. And they're just basically saying, "Hey, look, here's our ICBM. Like, if you really want to fuck with us, we'll just literally destroy your whole country, and there's
Yeah,
nothing you can do about it."
but
But
they don't
what
want
I
to.
the what
Ukraine's a valuable jewel to them. I
no,
think that's
that's why they're not
right.
doing it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
this is my whole thesis is that the going the attrition route does not just save you your military equipment. I think they're playing the long game and they're trying to deplete the actual Ukrainian population in the birth rate so that they don't have to ever fight this battle again, where they're going to deplete their population so much that they're going to be a shell of a country for the next 50, 60, 70 years.
And
Yeah.
That's what
NATO's
I think they're
munitions,
playing at.
To
and
the
NATO's
replacement
munitions
rate can't
also.
keep up.
No,
Well,
NATO
aren't
mean
all their
no.
young men are
No.
already dead, dude? They like almost all their young men are dead.
Yeah, well, the munition part doesn't matter. You can build so much munition if you really want,
Yeah.
but they're going after the population and
Yeah.
not. And I don't mean they're not going after women and children. They're killing all the soldiers. Like there's estimates like there's hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers that have died,
Yeah.
like bar none, right? And they're just completely decimating it to the point where they're having to like bring in North Africans to fight for Ukraine at this point. Mind you, they're
Yeah.
bringing in
It's
North
so
Koreans to
fucked to
fight for
think
Russia
about that.
too.
Well, that's why the
Imagine you won
yeah.
the lottery on Earth to not be born because we're in the fighting age in the early 30s or whatever. You know, it's like the lottery to be born in the United States or wherever and not be born in Ukraine. It just makes me feel like guilty. You know, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. 'Cause
Yeah, but
we
I
talk
seen a
about it
I
loosely, but it's hundreds of thousands of young men that died for no
Yeah.
fucking reason at all.
yeah I
Well,
seen
Great
I
that's why
seen
they're
point.
it I
pulling
Great
them
seen
off
it.
point.
the. That's why they're pulling them off the front lines and trying to send send more drone, less human on the front line, because they're realizing, look, we can replace drones a heck of a lot faster than we can replace population. Ukraine is now picking up on, Russia is purely doing the attrition route of winning this war. And even if you technically hold on to your land, what good is it if you can no longer keep up with replacing your population? You
Yeah,
lose in the end.
Yeah,
yeah, and I think I don't think they're going after the entirety of Ukraine. Like they want the Donbass region, they want the warm water ports. They want some of the farmland as well, but they're never going to occupy all of Ukraine. In my opinion, like they're not going to go to Kiev. They're not going to try to take it. They're literally at this point like causing attrition and holding the land that they already have. Maybe trying to get a little bit more in Donbass, but their main goal at this point is hold what they have and kill as many Ukrainian men as possible so that the Ukrainian population is decimated for the next 50 years and that this never is going to be a battle again. And whatever a peace deal looked like, it's going to be the only clause that they really care about is that there's going to be no NATO in Ukraine
Yeah.
going forward ever.
If
which
there is
is
something
where
to
it
think
started,
about, though,
which
it's
is
like
where it all started.
They'll probably
how
get that. They'll
how
probably get that.
long Ukraine has lasted is a scary thought. In thinking about how long Iran can last, it's like it's a similar type
No,
of
so
situation.
Yeah.
Ukraine on a scale of 1 to 100 in terms of military capacity, Iran's like probably like a 60. Ukraine's like 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's so scary because
Right?
Russia's a superpower. You know, it's
But
like
this is no, but they're not though. They're not fighting them with the Russian military as Iran is fighting with the Iranian military. Like you said, Russia's not using anything. They're going a completely different route and strategy. And Ukraine, like this whole war, in my opinion, has been planned for over a decade. It's been in the
Yep.
works when they
Since,
basically
since
did the
2014.
coup
Yes. Yep.
2014,
Yep.
and you had Lindsey Graham and John McCain going over to Ukraine, arming these neo Nazis and all these people in Ukraine. They were building up. They literally fortified Ukraine to basically stop Russian invasion. Like they've been planning Russia invading for basically 10 years. Like that,
Yeah.
like they knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was
Since
coming. The only
Crimea,
people,
yeah, since Crimea in
The only
fourteen
person who
fifteen.
well, you
didn't
know,
was,
it was before Crimea.
yeah. Crimea was a taste. Crimea was step one where they kicked all of Ukraine's forces out of the Crimean Peninsula. But that was really just step one. And I think we had oops, phone call.
It's his wife.
But
Get
the
to
whole
bed.
thing was they broke the treaty that said
Bed.
they
It's
wouldn't.
like
They
9
broke the
a.m.
treaty when they put the nukes in Poland, right? Or and then they actually put them in
Oh, that
Ukraine.
was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That was like in 1991, the
yeah,
Versailles Treaty that they broke in like
exactly.
91
That's
or
what
whatever it
started
was.
Putin on this whole warpath.
Yeah, that's when Putin
No,
kind of got.
yeah,
No, like that was.
this wasn't nukes. It really wasn't nukes in Poland. Or is Ukraine, is are they or aren't they going to join the European Union? Or really no, uh, Ukraine is a valuable asset, period. The
That's why
what Magoo was
BlackRock's
saying,
buying it up.
right? Well, the warm Russia doesn't have warm water ports at the
Right, the
plenty. This is
breadbasket of Europe. Yeah.
strategically, it's strategically advantageous to Russia, regardless if Ukraine ever did or didn't join the EU. They were never going to really actually get into NATO, but even if they did or did not, like Russia has always wanted to reacquire Ukraine since they lost them back in the Soviet Union era. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Just like
and
Georgia, just like, yeah, go ahead.
I think the U.S. was going to carrot NATO over Ukraine for the longest time because you remember for the last 10 years before the war started, Ukraine was like the slush fund of American politics. Like,
Oh
don't
yeah.
remember Burisma, Hunter Biden, energy company, all that $10 up, kicked up to the big guy, all that shit. Like, all the fucking money laundering and the political donations and the NGUs and money going over
Yeah.
was being used by the United States, and they were dangling NATO in front of Ukraine as a carrot. Whether they were ever going to give it to them, it probably doesn't matter.
Don't
Or
forget,
probably,
don't forget the tie-in with SBF. Remember that? Remember that with the
oh,
Ukraine?
FBF donating,
Yeah.
donating,
Oh,
yeah.
that, yeah, that weird. FTX middleman conversion crypto. Yeah, that was. It's sometimes
Yeah,
this world is so small.
yeah. Well, yeah, the FPS was just laundering political donations basically through
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Isn't it true if they just left that dude alone, it would have all worked out like incredible for him?
No.
Unfortunately, if
No.
well,
How?
no,
Dude,
No.
he had his money in such incredible places that had ridiculous
yeah,
returns.
he bought
No.
Anthropics at like
It
a just
all.
retarded
Yeah, but
valuation.
it all. Why did it?
No, no,
Why
no.
did
Like
it all
research it,
fall?
Matt. Research it. I promise you. Like he
Right.
was gonna be worth like literally 1,000x more. It was like he had his money in perfect
No, no, no,
spots.
no, no. Why?
Yeah, but he stole everyone's
Why
money.
did it? Yeah. Why did it all fall apart, Rob? I understand that he bought Anthropic and others at an incredible valuation, but why did it all fall
It was
apart?
that
Why?
bitch. She couldn't handle her meth, dude. If she could handle her meth, things would have been fine. She couldn't handle her meth, and she gave up all the inset information, and it would have
No,
been fine.
it's because they got hopelessly over levered in a bear market, and
Hey,
people
don't
Yep.
moved their
forget. Listen,
money.
no, hold on.
It
That
was there
meth
is
head chick.
never they were never getting out. They were never getting out of 2022. They
Don't
were never getting out.
hold
It
on. The
was
ties
they
with
over
that.
levered themselves to the tits, and Bitcoin price was bouncing around. Remember, it was bouncing between 18K and 25, and it was the bear market that would never end. And people were starting to, yeah, and it was a bear market for everything too. It wasn't like remember, it wasn't just Bitcoin and crypto. It was everything. Bonds were
Yeah,
down.
rates went
Mag
from
said,
0% to 5%.
right. All of a sudden, no VCs had any money for FTX anymore. Like it was tighten your belts. It was lay off whoever you can. Like FTX was never getting out of 2022 once they over levered themselves. And they were like he was trying. Remember, he was trying to be the bailout king. Like, hey, let me bail you out, BlockFi. Let me bail you out.
It was all boister.
Right.
They're just yeah.
Trying to hide, but it was all just to like hide losses on other people's balance sheets because they were so fucked by spring and summer 2022. Like it, you know, don't cry any tears over FTX or Sam Bankman. Like people bought those private shares of Anthropic for pennies on the dollar, and they will happily cash out and become instant 100 millionaires and billionaires. People are still gonna ride off into the sunset. It's just Sam Bankman has to sit in the jail cell because he's too poor to buy his pardon. Facts are facts.
Yeah. Yeah, he was never getting out of that bear market. Everyone blew up. Everybody. Even BlockFi, who wasn't like committing outright scams, they over leveraged themselves and gotten real bad. And they
Unsus-
fuck
Unsustainable interest rate in the good times and the bad times. Magoo sounds familiar.
sounds
I've heard.
familiar.
I think we started this space on
Yeah,
something like that.
I wonder what their
exactly.
parties looked like in the Bahamas when they were like just out of their minds, just losing it and doing like crazy parties with the
They
meth
were
and
all
whatnot.
ugly as fuck.
Yeah,
I
it's like
wouldn't
a
want to be
sad. Caroline was the prettiest one there, and only
Dude,
technically because she was a girl. It was
dude,
just
rad.
sausages. Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't you see those guys? Like they were all fat slobs who, you know, none of them went to the prom. I'm sure for high
I mean,
school.
yeah,
if your dick worked for Caroline, you're kind of gay, you know. Like if it worked for that girl, you kind of gay.
I'm not fucking that girl without a stop loss. That's all I'm saying.
Like Viagra wouldn't work on me. I could take an overdose on Viagra and she was butt naked and be like, nope, still not working, dude.
Kind of like I need you to hold this like laptop screen in front of your face with this porn going on autoplay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. What's his face got off completely scot free. I think he was the fucking narc. That gay guy. What's his
100%
name?
on his yacht.
On
Or
his yacht. Yeah.
oh,
Don't forget her father.
Kyle something, right? It was the
Don't
previous.
forget her father.
It was the previous Alameda hedge fund CEO right before Caroline. I'll look it up.
Wait, she didn't
What
even
the
go to
hell was his
jail, did
name?
she? Did that bitch get out of from going? She didn't go to jail, did she?
Yeah, she didn't
She
No,
go to
her
jail.
father.
testified.
Remember, her
She
father was an
testified.
MIT professor who trained. What was it, Blinken or somebody in the Biden administration? There was a whole dirty connection there. Caroline's father was a professor in, I believe, MIT, and he was partners with somebody in the Biden administration. I forgot who.
I bet you you know what the ultimate fuck you that Trump's gonna do on his way out he's gonna fucking pardon FBF. Watch it. He's going to FBF. If you think FBF doesn't have any money, you're a fucking idiot. He's squirreled some away. I can guarantee you that.
100%. 100%.
He's got a cold wallet somewhere, probably.
Cold wallet
Oh,
somewhere, probably with hundreds of
Sam,
millions.
Sam Trabucco. That was the name of
Yeah,
cult member.
he was the narc. He was the
He
gay narc.
because you never heard a peep out of him since summer of 2022 when he handed all of a sudden retires and gets on his yacht and sails for international waters and hands the keys over to Caroline Ellison. Yeah, it was Sam Trabucco.
The
Never
worst part is
never saw
he
a
was
courtroom, never set foot back in the US as far as we know.
the worst part is it was probably him that fucking was trading that fucking got them underwater.
100%.
And
100%.
he's the
Yeah.
one that knew it, and then he said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here. Like,
Yeah.
if you guys want to continue this is on you, but I'm out of here." He went straight to the fucking SEC or to whoever
It was
and
Gary
started narking.
Gensler. I just
Yeah,
looked it up. It was Gary Gensler who was in cahoots with Caroline's father, who was a professor at MIT. They worked together. There was a whole closed loop on that, all the way
yeah.
back to the FCC.
She
Remember
actually got
Sam?
some.
Remember Sam had those Zoom meetings with Gensler like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not an where do you think okay, here's this hot out of nowhere crypto startup that for some reason all the VCs are glomming onto and they've got to staff up. Like who do you think they staff up with? Oh, just the kids of everyone's so and so's elites. Like that's literally who was Caroline Ellison some like top of her class giga
They all came
brain.
out of Jane. They all came out of Jane Street.
No, no,
That was the.
no. Sam Bankman was impressive coming out of Jane Street, but like you start going down the pecking order of the hierarchy, like the credentials get, you know, they're nothing to write home about. You realize like, oh, you got this job because your parents. It's not,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Do you think that those two? I mean, we listen to Sam talk and click on his mouse playing video games while he's talking to the world about how he just fucked people out of hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it was. That they didn't even know what the fuck they were doing. They were just robots for people above them. That's my theory, and it has been. Like, I don't think he had the capability to pull off what he did on his own, or it was his idea, and him and her kept it,
No, it
on the
was his
back.
parents. His mother was a professor in Stanford Law.
yeah,
Do you know
Exactly.
about the
That's what I'm
connections with
saying.
his
Like, they were
parents?
just,
yeah.
they were just.
They're all Stanford graduates. Yeah, we know. Like, yeah, they're legacy Stanford kids. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
But
just
his
saying.
he,
I don't. I'm not.
his
I don't think they could have. They could have never done that on their own, and
no, Sam's
they
father
didn't
was a
gain shit
high-ranking
from.
securities lawyer in the government, and
what
his
is
mother was a professor in
What's your
Stanford.
what's your point? Elite parents give their kids
N-
prestigious legs up in society into choice startups. Yeah, that's how shit happens.
Sure.
No,
I
that's not the point I'm making. I mean, I'm just saying their parents like made their kids just take the fucking fall. I mean, you know what I mean? He
It's
took
because
it.
they're all Jews.
Well, I think they had him dead to rights. I don't think they. I think the feds had him dead to rights.
No, I think the feds had them dead to rights. Sam Trabucco knew that. He went in there. He got immunity first off. I do think though that Sam's dad, he specializes in basically corporate. I don't want to say corporate espionage, but basically structuring companies globally to basically be fucking like shadow companies. And if you looked at like FTX's org chart, like it was some work of art. Let me tell you that. Let me see if I can find that picture.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think that his father probably did help with setting that
It,
up to a
it was a
bit.
spider web. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a massive spiral, but ultimately it was Sam, right? If anything, like the weirdest thing with that whole operation was basically the altruism and the altruistic fucking connection That was the weird part, to be honest with you. And
Yep.
you know who has the same altruistic fucking vibe is fucking the CEO of Anthropic. That guy,
Oh yeah.
I don't trust that guy for a fucking instant. I don't trust Sam Altman either. I don't trust either of those two fucking twats. Whatever, like,
Jews.
yeah, they are. But
They're
Sam fucking murdered
Sam's
that
parents
Indian
were
dude
also
that worked for him.
they're
lawyers. Both
saying
of his
they're
parents were lawyers.
look
Sam
Sam.
murdered that fucking Indian dude who blew
What?
the copyright whistle.
Wait, what?
no. Do you think Sam physically did himself, or do you think he
No.
paid someone to do it?
Nah, they killed them. He's
Of
getting Uber
course he
Eats.
paid. Of course he paid.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, but
according to
Sam
this,
and
apparently Caroline, even though she was star witness to Sam Bakeman's trial, apparently she did have to serve 24 months in prison. So she did serve, and then ordered an $11 billion forfeiture. So how does that work? You're basically paying money forever back to the government until your first 11 million goes to the government. How does that?
11 billion
Oh,
or
sorry. Oh,
million.
sorry. 11 billion. Sorry. Let me read that again. 11B with a billion. So your first 11 billion goes back to the government. Is that how does that
What what
work?
what do you do at that point?
I
It doesn't
don't
work.
know.
It's
You
like
know they have a Netflix TV show coming out about this whole thing called The Altruists, right?
Yeah, they're
Good.
fucking called.
Okay.
You
yeah,
All right.
basically move to an island somewhere, set up a tiki shop bar, and don't ever pay the government again. Like
The,
11 billion.
11 billion.
it's just
Speaking of movies,
never have money.
There's also a movie coming out about Bitcoin about Craig Wright and stuff. It's starring
Yeah, it's
Pete Davidson.
retarded.
Starring Pete Davidson and
Isn't that guy
Pete
Affleck's
Satoshi? That
brother.
guy's Satoshi,
Why is
right?
it
Craig, right?
starring
Yeah,
Pete
yeah.
Davidson?
He's
Yeah,
Satoshi.
Pete Davidson and Alec what's his name's brother.
What? Wait,
Um
is this wait, but
Ben Affleck's brother and Pete Davidson are starring in the movie. Pete Davidson is
what's
playing Craig Wright. It's
what's the
been
name?
it's gone through several name changes.
Wait, wait,
I
wait,
don't know what
wait.
it
Is
is.
this no? This they announced this bullshit. This was
Yeah.
their. This was
No,
their.
it's been at the Cannes. It's at the Cannes Film Festival. It's
What's the
just been.
all right? What's the
I
name
think
of it then?
Miramax. I think bought it. Whatever. It's going to come out soon.
What's
At
its
first, it
name?
was just called Bitcoin, right?
It went through several name changes. It was. I think the first one was Finding Satoshi, and then they changed it a couple times. I don't know what the fuck it's called now.
You're right. Yeah, it's the same one I heard about. It's and what I heard, it is just an absolute joke.
All right,
For
who?
anybody who knows Bitcoin,
Pete
it's gonna.
It's all about the block wars.
Pete
It's all about the
Davidson.
block wars.
All right. Well, if I look up Pete Davidson's IMDb, it should show up, right? You would think.
Casey Affleck is the brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
Casey.
Casey Affleck
Actually, it's
is
probably
star.
faster to look up Casey Affleck.
And instead of it saying finding Satoshi, they put Bitcoin in the name. I think. Am I correct?
Hmm.
Yeah, they changed the name 3 times, I believe.
Because nobody knows who Satoshi is. It's just the average guy walking around. They're like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah,
I'm
Pretty
not.
obvious.
I'm not seeing
it's really
anything.
documenting the block wars mostly, but
How
it's
far
also got that twist about Satoshi.
are you sure Casey Affleck's in it? Because I'm not seeing
Yeah, hundred
anything in
percent.
his.
But it's not even the movie's already
It
been
was called
filmed.
Killing Satoshi was the original name.
There you go.
Mm. Oh,
Now,
and then looks like it's been renamed.
Doug Lehman, the guy that directed Born Identity, is the director apparently, or was attached to it. That's what it
Yeah,
says.
which is a big fucking deal, obviously.
Do they actually have any footage though? Is this actually so?
Yeah, there's a
This
trailer. There's
actually
a trailer.
okay,
poster.
but did this actually come out or did they just film a trailer?
No, they did. They made the movie. They sold it. They went to the Cannes Film Festival or something, and they
It says
try
it
to
Mm,
filmed
peddle
in
it to
London
the
in
for
2026 and it's
distribution.
expected to release late October. Also, the
I,
same with the
yeah,
Altruists.
I think
I can't
Miramax
find
bought the
any.
rights or whatever.
I can't find any video though, trailer or otherwise.
Every show I've ever watched about Bitcoin is dog shit. And
Yeah.
honestly, 95% of the books about Bitcoin are dog shit too.
Psyops.
I
They're
mean,
all fuck.
Short answer.
Name me a
I don't.
name me a
Yeah.
good book, Matt, a Bitcoin book.
Oh,
Oh.
Books against
do you know that?
Uh.
Did guys? Did you see what was in the Epstein file release about Bitcoin? Do you know about that?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
funded
He was
Bitcoin.
interested in 2011.
Yeah, he
Okay.
basically paid the salaries for the core devs to remove the opcodes.
I don't. I didn't even see that part. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
it was in there.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Dive
what
into
does
that
that?
a
What
little
does that
further
mean?
now.
You
So
paid devs to
he
ask them
paid
to
Bitcoin.
remove. Yeah.
He paid basically, and this is through um
I have
good
the
old,
emails.
yeah,
I
they're
could
all
put. I could.
it was through Blockstream, or what became what Blockstream, or what
Right.
became a block, or what turned
Early.
into
Yeah.
Blockstream.
Early days. 2011.
That he was basically just paying salaries, or it wasn't directly quoted. He was paying salaries, but he was basically funding them, and the only thing they were spending money on is core dev salaries. So, like in essence, he was funding them. And the bips, or I guess at that point it was before bips, the changes that they were making to the code were removing certain opcodes and doing certain things. So it's like, it's not like in the email, hey, remove this from
Also,
Bitcoin.
signatures. They pulled out the Schmor's signatures in the transactions
For
that
what?
made it
Well,
like
For who?
more
For what?
anonymous, I believe.
no, the Schnorr signatures never really came to be, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Snore was uh that was a more recent soft fork with Bitcoin. When,
yeah.
I'm
Well, they,
blanking on when Snore was
no,
that
but
literally
they were
technical?
talking. They were talking about snores even in the white paper,
Right.
and
Yeah.
just they were deciding about what to use and whether they're going to use like MIT license, like certain encryption or not.
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly. And Satoshi picked the non-popular encryption method, which turned out to be the one that uh what's
didn't
his
have a
name
back door.
revealed. No, the whistleblower, Snowman,
Snowden.
the one Snowden revealed in his drop. It turned out that there was a back door in the one that was the most popular one, but Satoshi by chance picked the one that actually was secure.
By
That's a big
chance,
piece of it.
I don't think it was by chance, but
Well, who knows?
well,
Well, it was
there's a lot
actually
of,
Hitler that talked about Bitcoin originally in Mein Kampf.
yeah. Well, even before Hitler, Edison talked about it too, and so does Henry
Yeah.
Ford. Literally, like Henry Ford, literally, like verbatim quoted about a currency based on electricity.
Yep.
So
It's in
Yep.
guys. It's in my bio. It's my bio. Click on
Did
my.
you wait,
I don't want to look at your
wait.
OnlyFans,
Did you
JP.
wait,
No, I've got the Henry Ford quote there.
Yeah.
JP, did you invent Bitcoin?
I wish.
No, it was
What
Hitler and the
about this
Nazi
other court? What
scientists.
about this other court case with the abandoned property? How fucked up is that?
Oh, in New York, I seen that. That's fucking hilarious.
It's
What
wild.
what are you gonna do?
Good
You
luck.
legally own something you can't access.
Yeah. Well, maybe I think their whole
They're trying to prove how fucking
yeah.
stupid everything is.
I mean,
That's what
I
that's what
thought.
they're trying to do.
Oh, I thought it was more like, hey, we legally own this. Can we get a loan off of it? Like the value of this is
No, that no one would ever do that. That's retarded.
right. How? Yeah.
I think they're trying to challenge what ownership actually means in when it comes to digital assets. And I think they're trying to throw mud into the ring about what does true ownership of these digital assets really mean. Does it mean you have a legal title to it? Does it mean if I have a legal title to it that it's actually mine even though I can't control it? What if someone else has the legal title to it but has the keys to it? What does that mean? I think they're just trying to throw mud into the ring and trying to really like test what
Test the
that actually
boundaries.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what
Exactly. And they're
It's pretty.
trying to shoehorn it
It's
into
pretty
the
silly though.
existing abandoned property rules and regs, where
yeah.
if you have a bank account with money in it, and after so many years, it gets donated to
Yeah,
the
because
state.
like
All
think of
that.
this, Matt. For
Yeah.
example, all those abandoned addresses that are air quotes abandoned.
Yeah.
Let's say they win this court case and it's legally theirs, and then all of a sudden, in let's say 10 years, those coins start to move,
Yeah.
and they go to KYC exchanges, and then they subpoena those exchanges to see who sent it, and say, no, this is actually my property.
Bingo, bingo.
because they
Okay,
want access to all the
that's
coins.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, but that
right.
doesn't.
They
But
want to be able to
that
seize your
doesn't sound
assets.
like that doesn't sound like they're trying to show how this is all very silly. It sounds like they're they truly think there's a long-term monetary gain here, possibly,
Possibly,
potentially.
yeah. Well, it is silly because if they have legal titleship but they've never owned the actual private keys, what does that say about the legal system and what
Yeah.
ownership actually is,
Well,
right? And
it's the same
if they win,
concept of.
if
Sorry, go ahead.
what happens if they win that case and then they do are able to somehow claw some Bitcoin that gets put deposit to exchange that they say that they own? How does that
Yeah,
react to
quantum is
all the
part of
other
it too.
coins?
It's because of quantum, the threat
And
from quantum.
quantum
That's part
too.
of it.
If you basically have legal ownership of coins, but then someone hacks you, like what does that mean? Like it's a whole fucking gambit of bullshit, and
It's
because of
legal.
like it's
It's
legal. Well,
rules they
gambit.
made up. It's rules they made up. You know.
Well, there's interesting
Hmm.
ramifications if you have title of something and then and all of a sudden it gets hacked and deposited into some other exchange because you have to be a stupid idiot if you don't think in 10 years that this walled garden is going to be so thick that anytime someone deposits a Bitcoin on an exchange is going to be basically queuing a fucking FATCA fucking repo of
Mm.
travel rules and knowing who owns everything and who's depositing anything. If anything gets deposited and if it ever gets claimed to be stolen, like you're going to be able to get this shit back. But the negative side is this is a completely controlled system. Like
Yeah,
it's
they
going
want
to
it so
Hmm.
they
be,
can seize your assets whenever they
Treasury
can, and they
coin.
yeah.
want to see how much you have.
Yeah, they want to see how much you have. They want to be able to seize it at any time. Like, and
They
that's
don't want
and
you to be able to move around with it. They want to be able to take it whenever they can. They want to know who has it. They want to track it. They want
yeah,
access
exactly.
to it.
You
And
want
that's why I
Control,
said that.
baby. About
That's why I
control.
Did
said, and that's why I've been saying for years now that Bitcoin's future doesn't live in the U.S.
Yeah.
It might look like it does because of the ETFs and the vast majority ownership and the mining happens in the United States. But the true, what I would call the renaissance of Bitcoin being used as payments over the next 50, 60, 70 years is not going to be in the United States.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna every country, every region, every country is gonna want to have both its own sovereign Bitcoin mining and exchanges because you're absolutely right. They don't like this, Switzerland doesn't want to have to listen to whatever the EU thinks is and isn't ownership of this or that coin because it came
They'll be
from this or
fighting
that.
over capital. Yeah.
Exactly. Like they'll be like, yeah, okay, that's nice. Go pound sand. You have no jurisdiction here. And oh, by the way, we also have our own Bitcoin miners, so we're going to make sure that our transactions are always treated fairly. No deprioritization or shenanigans.
Guess who the
So
U.S. just sanctioned today, Matt?
who's that?
All the Iranian crypto exchanges.
Right there, you go.
Well,
See,
they
so
they
Today.
that just
seized a
proves
bunch of their Bitcoin. They
the case.
seized a bunch of
No,
Iran's
they didn't
Bitcoin.
seize
No. They
Bitcoin.
they they seized their stables and
Yeah.
crypto wallets.
yeah.
You thought everyone was so worried about CBDCs, but it's what tell me the difference between Tether and Circle at USDC
It's
from CBDCs.
worse.
It's the
It's
same.
worse.
It's the same
It's
thing. If
worse.
they're gonna do
It's
that,
worse.
right?
It's worse. It's worse.
It's the
It's
illusion.
worse.
It's the illusion of independence and privacy, but actually, they're still answering the call anytime the U.S. Treasury has a problem or comes calling.
Well, you're saying like every country wants their guarantee that their transactions are going to go through or whatever. I mean, what's to say every country has are hidden blocks? Yeah, how are they going to? What if
Well, then
they start
nodes take care of that.
fucking with it?
Don't need to worry
does
about
Iran
that's.
tie
You
back
still
to
can't.
CZ? Did
I'm
it
just
was
saying that once
Oh yeah, that's why CZ got in trouble is because he was funding Iran.
Yeah.
They're letting Iranians use their exchange.
That's why he had to. What was that?
right,
Why he
That's
had to sit in
it's
jail
going to be
for a year?
fuckery,
yeah, that's why he had to
Right.
sit in jail for a reason, terrorist financing. And so he
Yeah.
made a sweetheart deal and gave basically the DOJ and basically Treasury every single list of basically Iranian
Yeah.
accounts that have
Terrorist.
deposited, and that's how they've been creating this web of on-chain knowledge to where they have been able to go out and freeze all the IRGC stable coins is
Yeah.
strictly because of what the information they got from CZ. So Sweezy got that sweetheart deal to cough up all the Iranian client data and transactional data to the US government. And the US government has been using that ever since to freeze Iranian funds.
Yeah.
And the only funds that have not been stolen are their Bitcoin. And I've been saying this for months, and no one really seems to really listen or take me serious. That the reason why I think Bitcoin is in the toilet right now for a big reason is I think that there's financial warfare happening right now. And
Hundred
I,
percent.
because Iran has been the number one sovereign user of Bitcoin over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So Iran has actually amassed quite a large stack of Bitcoin. I would believe it's probably in the hundreds of billions of dollars. To be honest with you, I think it's a lot, at least at their peak.
Hmm.
And this war has been depleting their ability to one transfer it and get fiat in return, and not only that, but I believe that the price is probably being suppressed to put the screws even more on Iran, because the difference of Iran stack at $100,000 versus 60,000 is monumental.
Well,
Plus,
it flipped him. Well, it flipped him from a net buyer or a net accumulator to a net seller. So like
Yeah,
that just right there is a massive impact on Bitcoin
wait.
price.
There's a whole nother layer too. This folds directly into the whole BRICS currency, right? The whole alternate payment rails. Anti
Oh,
chips and SWIFT. It goes back to the yuan denominated, gold backed BRICS currency.
well, that's never
It,
gonna
it
that's
happen.
never going to
Yeah,
happen.
that's never
No,
gonna
but I'm saying
happen.
this is the actions taken by the U.S. government that you just described in detail. It's counteracting that effort of making bricks. Are you guys familiar with Project Enbridge? Do you know what that is?
No, it does not ring a bell. But
Okay,
the
Project
problem.
Enbridge would.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah. What is Project Embers? Yeah.
Okay, so that is a effectively the BIS, right? The International Settlements. They basically built a Uniswap. They basically cloned the Uniswap code, and they not they literally turned it into the core of the future financial system, right? Chips slash Swift. Swift is the messaging system. Chips
Yeah.
is what moves actually moves the currency, right? Everybody thinks Swift moves money. It doesn't. The chip system does, and the Fedwire system does. That's how FX is conducted, right? So BIS has been working for like 10 years on basically building a new system that effectively has a Uniswap in the middle, and turns all the central bank the central bank members of the BIS into CDBCs that just go and do atomic swaps on their global centralized Uniswap fucking site. Basically, that's what it is, right? So here's what happened. Uh, um, the BIS built this project called Project Enbridge, right? So they built it, and I even think Gavin, what's his name? The
Newsome.
No, not Newsom. No, Vitalik and Lubin's partner, Gavin, what's his name? The Ethereum guy.
Cat.
Gavin.
Uh,
I'm not
he
up
was
on
involved.
that.
Joe Lubin and Vitalik Buterin's partner who
Mm,
created Ethereum. There's a
Gavin
third
Wood.
guy.
Gavin Wood.
Wood, yeah, Wood.
Yeah, Gavin Wood.
Gavin was even involved with the BIS to help build this Uniswap fork, basically, is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, a free
Yeah.
one that doesn't have a silly token that doesn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
Sounds
let me
familiar.
land it though. So here's what happened. So they were going to use this as their core project to build the new global financial FX rails on top of. But then what happened was then China was part of the consortium. But what happened is they started like making it their own. They took Project Enbridge, and you'll search this up in 2 seconds. You'll see everything I'm saying. um, the BRICS, effectively the BRICS consortium, I don't want to say stole, but they made Project Enbridge their own. So the BIS was kind of forced to divest themselves away from the project because it became politically untenable,
Why?
because it was.
Just because they liked
So
the
what
rails
they
and wanted to spin up their own version of it?
because it became part of the death of the correspondent banking system, the euro dollar, the petrodollar. It became anti central bank, uh, um, you know, cartel. That's the word. I'm sorry. I hung up on the word cartel. It became the antithesis to the central banking cartel, which the BIS represented. So they had to divest themselves from it, and they kind of open sourced it, and they kind of gave it to China. And what they replaced it with, which is today, where the whole thing is going, it's called Project Agora. And Project Agora is kind of a fork of what another, like a third fork of Uniswap, and it's the same shit. It's just that they separated themselves from the BRICS nations. This is where everything is heading in this new multipolar world. I'll land it there.
I also don't think CZ
Hmm.
ever went to jail. There's not a single photo of him in jail. I think he took some sort of bullshit plea deal and cut a bunch of other deals. I don't think he was ever in jail at
Where's
all.
he hiding? Where's he hiding? I'll find him.
Well, he definitely paid his what was it, a couple hundred
Did
mil.
you watch the podcast with him and Chamath? He talks about it. I don't think he was ever in jail.
He definitely paid his couple hundred million for his pardon. He definitely got his federal
Yeah, he was
pardon.
probably in a suite in the Ritz, like when MBS put his family in jail. Remember? He locked
Well,
them up in the Ritz Carlton.
I'll find him. I'll find him.
I think he snitched and he cut a bunch of fucking deals and he never went to jail. I think he's the only one that got
Well, he
away.
definitely snitched. No,
They
C
all
Tribuco
snitched.
got away. Okay, it looks like Binance paid a 1.3 billion settlement. That was Binance.
Guess nothing.
And
CZ
CZ's not allowed to be an
CZ
officer.
paid CZ paid a $50 million personal fine. That's nothing for him.
But
That's
he's not
fucking
allowed to be a
peanuts.
corporate officer in Binance anymore, quote unquote.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
yeah.
he's still
He's still a
majority
massive shareholder.
shareholder.
Exactly. So
And
cry
he's on the
cry a bunch
board,
of
I believe.
tears. Yeah. Can't be a corporate
Yeah,
officer, but when you're the majority shareholder, you're still making all the
he gave up
decisions.
he
So
gave up the IRGC is what he gave up to get that deal.
yeah, and Binance isn't it's not domiciled in the U.S. anyway. So is anyone enforcing it? No, who cares? Like they forgot about it as soon as left. As soon as he was in international waters, it's a moot point, honestly.
Yeah. Well, he had to make a deal because like even if he
Yeah,
was chilling out in the UAE and no extradition, like he couldn't travel. Like you just have to be
yeah.
looking over your shoulder your entire
Well,
life. So he basically
but that's what the pardon's for. Now he's good. He's all good.
now
He got
now
the
he's
federal
good.
pardon. Yeah, he can come back. He wants to go to consensus 2027. He can come back in the U.S.
No, he could come
He
back in the US even before that, but now he's just fully
Right,
pardoned.
right,
Uh,
right.
he bought the first Trump golden passport
That's
from
what.
$1 million.
That's what. Yeah. Or well, that and wasn't he and what's his name? Justin's son, major Trump coin investors, or is that?
yeah, now there's a big spat there.
Yeah, Justin's
Yeah,
son.
Liberty Financial, right? He's suing Junior.
That's stupid. Like
Bro, man, that
Justin,
whole
like that was a one-way
he got
donation, Justin's
yeah,
son.
that was a
Like
one-way
Those coins are
donation.
the
you didn't
biggest part of crime
understand.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
this is crime season though, bro. Liberty Financial, the day
crime
before
cycle.
Trump took office, sells
USD
five.
one.
It's longer
Yeah,
than
they pulled the
season,
plug.
guys. It's crime cycle. This goes
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
the
this whole
halving
cycle has been
minimum.
crime cycle.
bro, this is
Yeah.
what I'm telling you that I think crypto's absolutely cooked when
Yeah,
2028 comes around. Like,
bro.
I don't want to be like whatever happens in the next 2 years in terms of price. I do not want to touch this shit in 2028.
Magoo, it's already cooked. What was the big idea for crypto this past cycle? Their big best idea was meme coins. Like it's over.
No,
Like
I mean
that.
Bitcoin too.
Oh well,
And prediction
don't
markets.
don't FUD my orange coin.
Well, I don't like I fudge my bag all the time, but like you
Yeah.
have to think like well let's I do think we hit another all-time high next year, but in 2028, like you have to think that there's going to be
Mm.
massive retribution and there's going to be massive investigations opened up into every single one of Trump's fucking crime crypto deals.
And
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Democrats will
hey,
win.
that
The
that
Democrats
sucks.
will win the election in
That sucks
2028 too,
for
and they'll set a bunch of rules up.
DJT and Trump coin, but like let me give the bull case thesis, Magoo. So just like just like the tech bubble in early 2000s led to gold's best 10 years of performance ever, percent wise. Honestly, I think you could see something similar with an AI bubble when everyone realizes that, hey, the 100, 300, 500 PE valuations don't make any sense, never made any sense on all these companies. All the mag 7 all go into belt tightening and are refusing to spend ever bigger and bigger capex on quote unquote winning AI. Everyone stops talking about a AGI. Like when that AI bubble does finally pop and people look for where to put their money. I think they go back to, I think it's a redux of the 2000s. Instead of gold's best decade, I think you could honestly see a Bitcoin incredible decade, just because like, these the valuations, people are going to be staying away from them for 1 year minimum, 2 years probably, just like it was all do not touch from 2000 to 2002. Meanwhile, here was gold that already had its ETFs, so you could there was no shortage of ways to buy it, and an incredible massive market of tradfi and personal investors that were looking for anything not tech. Please, no more pets.com websites, no more Cisco promises of fiber in every home and everyone, like yeah. So I think that, yeah, Bitcoin had a, let's call it a disappointing bull market this past 3 years. But I look at this bear market and knock on wood, this is the weakest, shortest, shallowest bear market that I've ever been a part of Bitcoin
So
history.
far, Mac,
So
don't fucking
hey,
jinx it.
I knocked on all the wood so far, yeah. But I'm just saying, if AI does have its bubble pop, where does the money go?
The
I don't,
AI bubble will pop. The AI bubble will pop. All these AI companies are burning through money right now. They're all operating at a loss. Anthropic is operating at a loss.
Guys,
They're all burning through capital.
right.
It will pop
look
at some point.
But
look at the next step.
I think it's really interesting to think about where that money doesn't just disappear. Many
This is
people
what
will
this
make
is
out
what's gonna
like
happen.
bandits.
This
Where do they
this
put
is
that
what's gonna
money?
happen. This
Okay.
is what's gonna happen.
All
It's
right.
gonna pop. Everything's gonna tank. They're gonna take interest rates back to 0%. They're gonna turn on the QE jets, and then we're gonna roar. Like that's they've like
Right.
to be honest with you, they really have learned how to deal with crisis, and it's pretty simple. You just fucking print money, right?
Right.
And
Yeah, you print money.
yeah, and so that's what they're going to do. It's going to be, don't get me wrong, when the AI bubble pops, whenever it pops, Bitcoin's going to tank with it for sure.
Sure.
Hundred
Sure.
percent.
I mean, hey,
100%.
gold wasn't spared as well. I agree, but it
No,
could be the first to rocket. It could be the first to rocket out of
no, it
that
will be the first to
liquidity brink.
rocket.
Right.
It will be the first to rocket out of it. But like, if equities go down 50%, wherever Bitcoin is, it's going to be down at least 50%,
Not
if not.
necessarily. It could become the pristine capital
Oh my God, shut the fuck
Oh
up, JP.
no,
People
collateral.
no, no.
No,
Too early.
JP,
Come on, too early.
JP, don't be. You're stroking my fucking bag here with a pristine collateral fucking
It could
narrative,
it could
bro.
turn that
That
way.
narrative died when Preston
When did
Pish
Sailor
quit.
get in here? When did
Yeah,
Sailor
fuck.
enter the chat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Look, I'm bullish
uh,
Bitcoin, but we
I
can't.
mean,
Come on.
Do we
after the
actually think
treasury
Sailor's
That's
going to
becomes
just
sell more
not.
Bitcoin?
Yeah,
a-
Sailor's 100% gonna sell more Bitcoin.
He
No
has
doubt in
to.
my mind.
Yeah,
He
he
has
has
to.
to. He has
He
to.
has to.
after treasuries become toilet paper, where else is there to go?
Well, okay, this is a huge distinction. We're talking about a bubble that's probably gonna pop in the next 12 months, and you're talking about things that are gonna happen in 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to know when treasuries finally capitulate, because that probably means that it could mean that there's some other superpower that just kicked the US out of the top seat, and that could be an ugly implication for whatever that means. Um
That's the BRICS currency. Yeah.
No, BRICS are
No, it's
dead.
not BRICS. All right, let's talk about BRICS. This is
The only BRICS I like are when they're coming on my ass.
there will never be a quote unquote BRICS currency. Why? Because the number one super weapon in the world is nuclear bombs. The number two super weapon in the world is printing your own currency. So you tell me, who's going to give up the money printer of printing their own currency? Is it going to be Brazil? No. Is it going to be South Africa? No. Is it going to be China? Hell no. Is it going to be Russia? Hell no. Is it going to be India? Hell no. I could go
China's
down the
just
whole.
stockpiling on gold.
Well, yeah, but but the point is, none of these countries, and that's the other part of this too. None of these countries are going to give up their own sovereign money printer, and none of these countries are going to tie their money to the price of gold because
But
that
they could tie
also.
their resources and their industrial output.
No, you
That's
would
the
never.
key.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because as soon as you do that, as soon as I say that, hey, my fiat dollar is equal to one gold brick, I have now given up the ability to debase my dollar, which is the whole point of a money printer. So there's two incredible reasons why they'll never do it because none of these countries want to lose their self sovereignty to some other country, and two, they don't want to give up the right to print their own money, so it's never
Right.
gonna
Right.
happen.
The downside of global reserve is that you have to extend credit to the world. Yeah, yeah.
You know how they're going to get out of that extend credit to the world scenario? The way that I think this ends, or at least how the fiat experiment ends, or not ends, but how it shifts, is you're probably going to have something like SDRs, where it's basically a weighted basket of all, like a trade
Yeah.
federation's
Global
countries.
fiat. Yeah.
Yeah, a global fiat that is backed by the paper of the nation's central banks that are in this currency. And the thing that that allows you to do is you no longer have to be the world supplier of credit and money that has been centralized now across all the nations in your trade federation. And when you want to print, you can print simultaneously because you have to print simultaneously to create these currency units or these SDRs.
But we already
And
have that.
no,
That's what the World
No,
Bank
we don't.
does.
no, no,
No, each
no.
The
country decides on
IMF
their own.
has the IMF issues as SDRs that they
Yes, but
The
pull
the
IMF
liability.
SDRs,
does not. The IMF does not control all these individual central banks and tells them when they can and can't print. No, each
no.
individual country decides when they want to debase their own
Yeah.
currency.
And so the biggest disconnect on why having central banks printing by themselves is because it puts them at odds against each other, and it's a race to the end, and that's why you have fluctuations in fiat currencies and why the DXY exists. If everything is linked to one currency, and it will probably just be a ratio of the percentage of GDP each central bank is in the respective nations in that said currency. So if the US is 40% of the GDP of the sum of the all the nations, they'll be able to print 40% of basically the debt that basically goes in this basket, or 40% of the currency, right? They could then you get rid of the risk of basically one nation outprinting the other nations. And so at that point, all fiat currencies
It's all
become
printing
essentially
equally.
all
How,
Yeah.
printing equally.
how is that
My only
different from
problem.
what
My only.
from
My
Greece
only.
or Pakistan with the IMF today,
My only.
or South
Because it's
American
not a
countries?
currency. SDRs are not used as currency, and they're backed by nothing. They're promissory notes.
My only issue. My only question with that, Magoo. Uh, how does it work? Where okay, let's say that we speakers were one of the smallest countries that got in on that. What was the acronym SDR, right?
SDR, but it'd be
SDR.
something else. But
Okay, but like, would it not be to our advantage to like how do you get to decide who gets to quote unquote print SDRs? Does any member country just like get to decide like, hey, turn the SDR money printer on, even though we're all
Lord
debased at
Rothschild.
equal even yeah, but even if we're all
no,
debased
it's
at
like the
equal
ECB. How does
percentages.
the ECB operate? Exactly
Okay,
like that,
interesting. How
right?
like walk us through what yeah, how would that
Well,
work?
the ECB operates basically where you have basically elected officials from every country representative that's on there, right? And then you elect the board
Oh,
of or the chair of the ECB, right?
all right.
Um,
So they basically just decide like, is this a noble enough cause, and we'll vote on it. And okay, yes, we will
but
issue some
everybody gets
SDRs.
all but everyone
Mm.
gets all the money though. That's the thing. It's not
Right.
like they're deciding to give it to one person. They're giving it unilaterally to everybody, right? And
Interesting.
Okay,
remember,
so if one
it,
Interesting.
country has
Well,
a
only
has
the
an issue,
EU. They only give
so
it to
does
the
everybody.
EU. Not
yeah,
not
but
it's not
In this
yeah, I
it's
know,
not
but
England
hypothetical, in
anymore.
this hypothetical, he
in
means
this
in this.
hypothetical,
Right.
it would be the U.S. and other countries, right? But this is going to exist while these other countries probably still have fiat systems. Like it's not going to be like snap your finger all, and it just is. This is the only currency that basically exists. Like there's going to be the fiats by themselves, and it's going to be a transition period. Remember what Project Libra was originally, Matt? That's exactly what Project Libra was. It was a token
Oh,
that
Yeah.
was
Zuckerberg.
yeah,
The
Zuckerberg for the original.
early stable.
Yeah, it was an early stable coin that was going to be backed by precious metals and commodities and other countries' currencies, a weighted basket, and
Yeah.
that's what is going to be used. And they got shut down so fucking fast. Uh,
That might have been generational fumble. Like
yeah,
they,
well, I don't think I think he just got shut down. Like I think they said no, go fuck you. This is not happening.
but he
Period.
didn't.
Bun.
He what? Well, one, they were too. I don't know. Maybe it should have been. Maybe it should have been a separate entity and not. You know,
No, I honestly think Matt, the
I think
reason why he got shut
the
down.
Facebook baggage was too much. Like I think if
No, I
yeah,
think it was that it was too in line to what the ultimate end goal is for fiat. Like I truly believe that they shut him down
yeah,
because, like, for example, look at how much they're embracing USD stable coins,
yeah,
right? What was Zuckerberg trying to do? He was not doing a US backed stable coin. He was doing a basket weighted currency that held other currencies and not just the US dollar.
And his was backed out of Switzerland.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's why they
So,
basically poo-pooed it right away.
I
so you
mean,
He
they
guys
was a
could
think
have.
threat
like
to Basel.
They could have stood like so. This same time frame. Tether was in its infancy, and
No, this was before Tether. Well, I guess it was in
no,
the
no, no,
infancy of Tether.
2017, 2018, right?
Luna,
2017,
Yeah.
Terra Luna, right? The
No,
algo
wait,
one.
no, no, no. This was way before Terra Luna.
way before Luno.
This was the Tether.
This was going on like 2017.
2019.
This, I mean, there's a
2019.
honestly, I think there's a look. There's a reason why Tether survived, and Libra didn't. Tether was in international waters and outside of U.S. jurisdiction and had no public interest and visibility. Meanwhile, everyone was like, Zuckerberg coin, he's gonna make a dollar like competitor. Like, no, shut it down. Like this was peak. This was peak. Social media pearl clutching. Do you know what's on your kid's Facebook? You know, and so like the idea that well, he's going to have a digital dollar that he controls, even though
Cambridge Analytica all over again.
right. So like I think it was doomed by proxy. He had the details were interesting, but if he had just let what was his name, David Marcus, right, the guy who's with Spark, he later left and did Lightning, Bitcoin Lightning, right? Am I just Am I drawing
Yeah,
it?
you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, if he told him like, "Hey, here's a bag of cash, stand this up in Dubai, and we're gonna keep you off the books, or maybe even you're not even Facebook affiliated. Well, you're a separate company. Here's some seed money." I think it would have been fine. I think it would have worked. You might have had like a Tether competitor,
Yeah, they
8 years
fumbled
ago.
it. They
Yeah.
fumbled it. They fumbled it. They try to go the regulated route because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And Meta was started with DARPA money. Like that's how they started, was fully above board regulated, like in the like
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I think
they
that you're right. That was the issue. They tried to ask permission rather than just like go create it first, ask permission second.
that's what Tether did and how it's
Exactly.
become so successful. Honestly, in all of crypto, the only narrative and business plan that has worked over the last decade is build it first and ask for permission second, or
Yeah.
don't even ask for permission.
Yep. Yep. Ask for permission once you can't.
No, not even. Like,
expand.
look at Coinbase. Coinbase never asked for permission, and they fucking they got so big that they had enough money to lobby the fucking politicians to make them win.
It's true.
Right? They get big enough, fast enough where you can't be taken down.
Yeah, build first, ask later.
Yeah,
There you
Disruptive.
go. Yeah,
that's what they're doing with AI right now. Um,
yeah.
I think it's going to bite them in the end, but they're basically all trying to get to some imaginary finish line without being regulated.
Well, I think they'll. Yeah, everyone envisions them being the next Google search. Like we're going to
But
be the first and last destination for AI if we can just outspend the competition, or I don't
yeah,
know,
I
some
know.
AGI goal, whatever.
Even if half of what this they say is true, which is not, but if they were, like the change in human civilization would be is so disruptive that like there's a 0% chance. Like if Altman's right and they're basically about to nuke all white collar workers in the next 5 years, if that's true, it's not, but let's say it is true. There is a 0% chance that those companies don't get nationalized, like
Yeah,
0% chance. They get
yeah,
nationalized and heavily regulated and taxed out the wazoo
yeah.
and controlled to the point where they don't demolish the jobs market in 5 years. You need
Which
to,
brings you back to what you were saying about Bernie Sanders talking about
yeah,
nationalizing AI.
yeah.
And that'll lead
Yeah.
to UBI. That'll lead right to UBI.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
100,
the
geez.
100%.
UBI thing, they're trying to pander that right now, saying that
No,
everyone's going to have agents working for them, gathering them tokens, and then they'll all have maximal compute off tokens, and
Yeah.
people will earn money that
They
way, which is a
they are
joke.
terrible. They are terrible salesmen at this. No wonder people hate AI and are protesting data centers. Like that's their pitch. That's your big pitch.
yeah, Sam Altman and that other curly-haired Jew from Anthropics. I can say that because I'm Jewish. Um, he like they are horrible salesmen. Like they're fucking autist fucks.
Yeah, they're all
But
pandering the stuff. Brad
Yeah.
Gerstner, all these guys, they're all pandering the shit.
well, it's the
Well,
IPO roadshow
Yeah.
because all of them are trying to get their money out at this
Brad,
point.
Brad, yeah, I don't want to make excuses
Brad
for
Chamath,
Gerstner
all
is
Brad.
of
shilling
them.
his bag
Brad's a
so hard
little,
right now,
Brad's a
man.
little
He's so
better.
loaded up on Anthropic and all these companies, and he's at fucking OpenAI. He's gonna dump so hard on everyone.
That's fair. No, no, that's fair. I mean, Brad was guilty as charged with this is gonna negate the requirement for half of your workforce in your white collar company, and you're gonna have your engineers so productive that you're gonna be able to cut head count. Like he was right there with him.
Yeah, and they're all lying, but they've created this massive negative feedback loop of a narrative. Like Bernie Sanders, as much as I don't like him and I don't want this to happen, that message that he's pumping out right now vibes with all the millennials and all the Gen Zs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
free stuff.
Free shit, right? And not only that,
Yeah,
not
because they're
only
all
now,
lazy.
Well, not
yeah, but now,
that's only
yeah,
half of it. He also has
it's
the very potent, and here's who's to blame.
yeah,
Here's the
exactly. That's what I was
AI
just gonna. That was
billionaire.
exactly what I was about to say. It's
Right.
not just about free shit. It's about free shit, and this is the reason why your life is dog shit.
Yep. Yep.
And that's a very potent message. And I think honestly, I a 10-year runway, I would rather own SpaceX than Anthropic or OpenAI, even though the valuation on SpaceX is like borderline
It's
fucking
disgusting,
retarded. It's
and I
so
think it will suck
disgusting.
so much
Yeah.
air out of the market and
Yeah,
oxygen.
it's
It'll
gonna. Yeah,
trash it.
well, not only that, but I think over the next, I don't want to own any
It
of them
has.
right now.
Yeah.
But over the next 10 years, I think the monopoly on space is not an existential threat to Americans' lives
Yeah.
as much as AI is, and they're going to regulate the fuck out of both of those companies and neuter the fuck out of them, and it's going to be hard for them to grow at the clip that they're growing and to keep the valuations that they are. So I just see them allowing SpaceX to continue being SpaceX, where Anthropic and OpenAI are going to get kicked in the nuts in the next 2 or 3 or 4 years.
But Elon's
Um,
also talking about space-based AI data centers too.
yeah, but
Yeah, I'm
that's
not. That's so
that's
far
that's a
down the.
joke.
Yeah, come
That
on.
that's
That's too
about as
far down
dumb
the
as
road.
Rob's comment that AT&T is going to
Oh my
disappear in 2
god.
years.
That was
They're talking
incredible.
about putting data centers in space, underwater, fucking everywhere right now.
Yeah, they're gonna be in my ass before they're in space. That's how likely those are.
An AI data center in everyone's basement. It's gonna make your mortgage free because you're gonna be running so much compute in
Bro,
your
and then you can get
base.
free internet from Starlink, and you're gonna have your Optimus robot all by the year
Yeah,
2028. Bro,
right.
they're not even gonna ship the first Optimus robot by 2030.
I was trying to be polite with like, tell me when it's cheaper to launch a rocket into space to put a satellite in the sky and to talk to your phone rather than the rinky dink cell tower down the street that's already right there and
No, no, no,
all you
dude,
got to do
no,
is
that's not
pay.
true.
Oh my
They're
god.
adding the cellular capability to the existing
That's not making it
Starlink.
cheaper. Do you hear me? Like it cheaper
It it
wins.
makes it free actually
No, it
because
doesn't.
there's no incremental cost.
Bro,
You already
I
are
think you
putting.
skipped I think you skipped the part where SpaceX is not profitable and it's 20 years old.
Yeah, it's burning
Star
money
Shield.
too.
So
Yeah,
Don't forget
what do
Star
you, hey,
Shield.
wait,
square that.
yeah, no, let's square this. What's more expensive to prop up a fucking cell tower on Earth on the ground or to launch a fucking rocket to put a satellite into space?
Yeah,
What's cheaper?
but
No, it's the same satellite that's doing Star Shield and Starlink.
No, I'm talking about AT&T putting up a fucking tower in a city. What's the cost of that compared to launching a fucking satellite into space?
right,
Astronomically cheaper.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And
Look,
and the only reason why they can even like this is what's going to happen. For them to scale, they're going to have to be taking some other profitable business in their whole shoot and siphoning money from it and putting it into subsidizing Starlink costs.
yeah.
What you're not taking into account is that that one satellite can cover the globe, whereas
No, it
that one
can't.
That's not
cell
No, it
tower,
true.
can't. Not even close.
whereas
Why do
that
you
one
need
cell tower can
no.
only cover a 5 mile circle.
Then why do they have close to 20,000 satellites and they're trying to go to 100,000 if all they need is one? That literally doesn't make any sense. And first of all, like I
No,
know
no, I was talking about the apples comparison of a cell tower versus a satellite.
is
A
it
I mean,
satellite can only cover the circumference of 5 or 8 miles, the circumference of the tower. The satellites orbit the Earth; they cover the whole planet.
even talking
So
about satellites and antennas, if you want to talk about the ultimate hedge right now, I believe the ultimate hedge is energy and infrastructure.
That's not really a hedge, but it's not
Yeah,
a bad
I
investment.
mean, look, Starlink is competitive in rural regions because it's super expensive for, say, Comcast or AT&T to run or Verizon to run fiber out to your bumfuck farm. No offense, in Montana or Utah. And meanwhile, you're right that a half dozen Starlink satellites are covering the Rockies without having to lay any expensive fiber. But
your
that
view is
advantage,
incredibly
no,
myopic.
no, no, no,
You
no,
have to.
that
You're not
advantage.
thinking of the globe as a whole,
I am thinking of
the
the globe.
oceans.
Bro, we have like
You're thinking of
Is
your own
there
backyard.
no? Do you, I'm not thinking in my own backyard. I literally started talking about rural America and the Rockies. I'm trying to explain why. Yes, it's competitive. It's competitive when you can't benefit from economies of scale from existing infrastructure in cities and suburbia. But as soon as you get like, I was laughing at Rob's, like he was bragging about only paying a low 100 for his internet. Rob, I pay half of that and I don't have to live in bumfuck nowhere. Like that's not. Meanwhile, it still doesn't do mobile service. So like we're still comparing how it's going to put AT&T and T and Verizon and all the others out of business on a service that doesn't exist yet.
Well, not only that, but do they actually even have the capacity? Like, does one satellite have the capacity to pick up hundreds of thousands of people's fucking signal and to relay
Right.
it?
No,
That's
no,
a good point. What's the
it's not like
bandwidth?
that.
What's
It's
the
not like that.
throughput?
It's not hundreds of thousands for one satellite. This one satellite only lasts for a couple of minutes, and then
No,
the
but
next satellite comes.
no. I'm talking about like I'm talking about this imaginary situation where everyone is on Starlink. So if every phone right now and every home fucking internet is on Starlink, even though that's not possible, did they even have the? They don't have the current bandwidth to
No,
basically.
every home internet will never be on Starlink. You could, if you have terrestrial fiber, it's
Well,
still
what
better.
the fuck? I'm talking about Rob's
Then
stupid
there's no
scenario.
right. Then there's no point. That's the pro.
But
Like, look, it's
cellular, yes, no, everybody can be on their cellular. That's feasible.
that's feasible doesn't make it cheaper. That's what I'm saying. Like it is not we're still coming back to it is still a hell of a lot cheaper to replace the satellite dish on the 5G tower that's already standing there than to launch a rocket. It just is.
What are you talking about? It's got nothing to
I
do
just
with a
said
cell phone has no dish. There's no dish on a cell phone. The cell phone just
what
natively
the cell
speaks to the
phone has to
satellite.
talk to the cell phone is connecting to the dish. Obviously, that's what
No,
I was
it's
talking
not. No,
about.
it's not. No, you're dead wrong.
Really? How does your
The
cell
sat
phone connect to the data
I, I've
infrastructure?
I said it about 4 times already. Samsung is building custom silicon
No, no, no.
that test that.
Your existing cell phone right now. How does your
Okay, there.
existing cell phone connect to the internet?
Okay, right. All right. There. That's a different subject. That's
Well,
called
this is
direct to sell.
but this is the world
That's
we're living
called
in.
That's called direct to sell. But I'm talking about the current chip, silicon, custom made silicon chip that's in production as we speak in mass quantities that Elon contracted Samsung to build for him. It's being produced in mass quantities right now. Samsung is going to put it in their next flagship handset, and eventually Apple will do the same. At that point, every top end handset will be able to communicate directly with the Starlink and Starshield satellites, which now have the ability to mimic a cell tower in space. And it's just adding on an extra capability to this to the satellite.
Sure,
Isn't
but now we're
Starlink
coming.
super weather dependent as well?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
okay, all right,
Yes.
all right, no, no, no. It depends on the frequency, right? So,
What? No.
Do you
Also,
guys
Apple
No,
remember
can't
it's
even build
not.
anything to save the
Listen,
company's
do you
life.
guys remember the Direct TV deal that Elon did, where he spent $12 billion to buy Spectrum from Direct TV? Do you guys remember that?
I can Look, my military occupation was satellite communications and military intelligence. I know that like the short answer is yes, weather will absolutely impede satellite communications. And these are massive satellite dishes the size of your garage, not a rinky-dink Starlink. So,
I'm
yes.
talking about millimeter wavelengths, though.
I don't care what I don't care what wavelength you're using. Like that's not
Okay, okay.
Are you
Did you
trying to
guys catch
imply
the
that
deal?
if you use a certain wavelength that thunderstorms are not a impediment? Is that the thesis? I just got to get the right frequency.
Do they affect the RF now between your handset and your local tower? It's the same. It's the same RF carrier frequency.
Yeah, you're not having to go through the literal Earth's atmosphere.
It's the same RF carrier frequency.
There is an exponential difference in distance. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's true. Like
Yeah.
I'm just saying, come on. What are you trying? Are you literally trying to explain this to an engineer who did this? What?
Okay. There's a company, for instance, called GoGo. They provide communications for private jet aircraft. Internet communications. They communicate with both satellites in LEO, and they also communicate with 5G towers on the ground. And they do it in G5s all over the place, and that works all day long. This isn't new technology. But the
No,
point is the key is this chip from Samsung.
we're coming back to we're not The debate is not, is it possible or not. That's not the debate. This comes back to, still, what's cheaper, because, and I was trying to get Rob to answer this question as well, because until Starlink's offering is cheaper than
It's
Verizon's and
free for
AT&T's.
them to
It's not
add it to
free.
their
It's never free.
satellites that they're already putting in space.
It's not. They're not gonna offer you cell service for free. It's not happening. They're already
No, no,
SpaceX is already unprofitable right now. They're gonna charge you something because they don't
no,
have
I
any more
didn't
free
say they're going to
VC
give it
money.
away for free. You said how are they going to offer it for free? And I'm saying that it won't
No,
cost them anything to add the capability to their existing satellites that they're already launching anyway. And that's exactly what they're doing.
you're missing.
They're
No, you're
adding.
missing. You're missing the point. You here sitting on Earth. How much does Starlink's cell service cost compared to AT&T and T and Verizon's? Until Starlink's cell service is cheaper than AT&T and T and Verizon's, no one's switching anything. That's the whole point I'm trying to make.
Well, hold on. Starlink cell service will work pretty on 95% of the planet Earth.
You're
It'll work in the
not
middle of the ocean.
you're
It'll work.
are you
It'll
purposely
work
not
in
trying to answer
Ecuador.
that
It'll work in
question?
Chile.
Are you
It'll work in Greenland.
are you purposely not trying to answer, like, it's not the bragging rights of, like, hey, if I was in the middle of the ocean right now, my cell phone would still work. Meanwhile, I'm paying $300 a month. Like, what? You're not answering the question. It's a very simple question. I'm just asking
And
you
I said
again.
Increment. They could off.
When
It
does
doesn't cost them
Starlink's
anything to offer the service. They
when
can charge $10 a month and still make like $9 in profit because they all they have to do is add an extra radio into their existing satellites that they're putting up there anyway.
so you're saying that it's going to be as cheap as $10 a month?
No, I said it could be if they sold it at $10 a month, they'd still be making like over $9 a month in profit because all they have to do is add an extra transceiver to the satellites they're already launching, and that's exactly what they're doing. And their cost of launch is lower than anyone else on Earth.
No, but the cost of launch is not cheaper than guy on making barely more than minimum wage climbing the existing tower and making sure that the existing dish is working uh optimally for 5G and 6G around the corner. Like, I
I
get it.
already
I get
I
it.
already
It's super
told you a
cheap.
tower can only cover a 10-mile circle at best. That's why there's hundreds of thousands of towers
But
on
yeah, but
land.
that's yeah, and you're not able to say how many people one Starlink is able to support. I don't know if one I don't know if a Starlink satellite has the bandwidth to compete with a you yeah, okay, one tower covers 10 square miles, but when you're
Well,
covering, if you're in a
a
city or a
10-mile radius. A
municipality.
10-mile radius. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're hold on, but when you're in a city or a suburbia or municipality, that's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that can be supported with that bandwidth. I don't know if Starlink, what, one satellite or two satellite or three satellite can handle that. That's a big guess. That's a very big
Yeah, no,
guess.
they have laser links in between the satellites that are multi gigabit, multi tens of gigabits,
It's not. I
laser
mean,
connections
gigabits not
between
exactly.
birds.
No one's losing
The
sleep
version
over
three, the
gigabits.
version three birds have that interlink where they can
Yeah,
basically it's a
it'll
mesh.
be
It's a
it'll
it's a
be
it's a Leo
very
mesh.
okay. It'll be very interesting. Again, this is service that isn't even offered yet. It'll be very interesting, you're right, when Starlink does offer cell service, to see what that pricing is, because I'm just saying it has to be competitive, and maybe it will be. Maybe they're going to start it off on a super dirt cheap subsidized rate so they can really cut into AT&T and T and Verizon and all the incumbents. Maybe that's Elon's plan, like, hey, we're gonna do it like Uber. It's gonna be a super cheap rate for maybe even a year or two, to give Uber a leg up and to put the hurt on existing taxi companies. And then, sure enough, 5 years later, everyone's just on the Uber app, and no one even bothers with a taxi. And now we can jack up the price of Ubers because we've cornered the market and we have a new monopoly. Maybe they do the exact same thing with Starlink, but again, that's over 5 years minimum. This is not Verizon and AT&T going out of business, losing their market share, or going out of business in 2 years.
No, no, no,
Even
no. I
5 years would
said
be
5 years.
generous.
I said it would have
Yeah,
to be a complete handset cycle, and that would take 3 to 5 years minimum. Yeah, I agree
yeah.
with you.
Well, it'll be interesting. It will, but like it's hypotheticals resting on hypotheticals. I don't see the sure things and guarantees. You know.
Somebody commented in the space, and I quote, Starlink connection. Or wait, no, let me see here. Uh, he said that you can't use Starlink in under trees.
We're not talking about the internet service. We're talking about cellular
Bro,
service. It's
that's
different
the same.
frequencies.
Uh, no. What?
I
There's
I
not some
refer you
special
to
way. No, 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 no. Are you are
look
you a
at the deal.
satcoms? Are you a satcoms engineer? Did you do
Um,
five
um,
years in the military supporting this? Like, no, there's not some difference wavelength from cell service to satellite internet service that I can beam this through trees for my internet, but it doesn't work for cell or vice versa.
Look at the spectrum that Elon purchased from DirecTV for $12 billion. Look at the FCC licenses that they have, and the spectrum licenses that they now acquired. Take a look at that. I don't mean this minute. I mean in general.
Okay, well, why don't you give us what's the sneak peek? I feel like there's going to be a big bombshell.
No, no, no. I'm just saying that
I don't have
they
time. Like,
have
what?
this.
Just give us the,
No, I'm
give.
count. I'm countering your objection. I'm saying I'm referencing you to the
What? But
spectrum
what's so
that Elon's
special about this
purchased.
spectrum? It's a very special spectrum. Why? Like, why? What's so special about the spectrum you bought?
Read the specs and satisfy your curiosity.
I'm not curious. I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't. I don't care. It's not
You,
like this cell service isn't offered today, tomorrow, or next month.
does your
Probably
cell
won't.
phone work? Does your cell phone work if you're standing next to a tree? Yes, of course it does. I'm countering your objection.
Yeah, because at
Yeah, but the
any well,
problem
go ahead and
problem
go. Yeah, you're gonna nail.
is because the tower, you're not beaming to a fucking satellite in outer space.
Not
Like I don't know how much like how is that not do you think this just because like you have this special frequency you're beaming through trees?
Exactly.
Like I don't I
exactly. Is that what you said? Exactly.
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh
he
my
said
god.
exactly that
Exactly that.
that you're gonna
Does your
What?
f-
that
your
you're gonna
I wish we knew about this in
does your
in the
cell
Marine
phone
Corps.
work
That
in
would
your
have been
does the cell
really
phone work in
useful.
your living room?
Yeah, because it's on the
With
Wi-Fi.
trees outside your house?
It's on the Wi-Fi. What's your point?
I didn't say does. I said does your cellular
Yeah.
service work in your
Yeah,
living room when you have
it's called
trees
Wi-Fi
outside your
calling.
house?
It works perfectly well.
No,
That's really
I
cheap.
said cellular focus. Does your cellular connection work in your living room with trees outside your house? Yes. So it
Okay.
yeah, it's because the tower's across the street,
Yeah.
dude.
Not to
not
mention
necessarily.
it. Not to mention, at any given moment, your cell phone is probably connected to two, if not three, maybe even more cell towers at any given moment in time. It's not connected to just simply one.
The point is that cell tower can be in Leo and still operate. I'm telling you, that's the way it is. Look at the chip that Samsung is building. It's an EOS modem,
No
and it
one is
has
no one is debating that satellite service is coming to cell phones. We're just trying to talk through, like, again, until it become I was just being generous. I was just being nice with, like, tell me when it's cheaper. Magoo is the one who wants to like be a stickler and like also tell me when it's more reliable. But like, yeah, tell me when it's cheaper and and more reliable, and maybe you'll have some switching over.
All right, Elon can launch it for whatever, $25 a month, $30 a month, whatever he wants. 19.95 a month. He could launch it for whatever he wants, and say, okay, you have global coverage with no roaming charges. You can receive your inbound. You can make outbound calls and receive inbound calls if you're standing in Beijing, if you're standing in Paris, if you're standing in Los Angeles. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not
a
a compelling argument.
It is again, but I think you're gonna have to do the Uber model where I don't know, maybe you subsidize it for a couple of years and long enough to corner the market. So I mean, it sounds really good. It's like wow, it's gonna be. You're telling me it's gonna be dirt cheap, and I'll have incredible
I think it
service
has more
everywhere
to
I am in
do.
the world.
I think it's probably going to have to it's more likely going to be the effectiveness more than the cost, because Elon will be able to bring the cost down and then subsidize it, especially if it's in SpaceX where he can just like shuffle money around to make like losing money one place and making it in another place. But the effectiveness is where I think it's going to fall short. It's not going to be as reliable as traditional cell service and everything that I know about satellites and how they work. And I'm looking at all this stuff like maybe in the future, but today there's a reason why you have to put your fucking your SpaceX fucking satellite big ass, well, not big dish, make it sure it's clear and not covered by any fucking trees. Like I don't know about you, but 90% of the time when I'm using my phone, I'm like not in the fucking open field.
Yeah.
So I don't
Again, I
I just
direct you
have
towards
highly
DirecTV
doubt.
Spectrum that Elon paid $12 billion for, and you'll see.
Here,
A
yeah, I don't.
spectrum doesn't beaming from space, a different spectrum doesn't fucking change anything. It's the distance. It's not the coverage is a factor, but it's the fact that you're communicating with a satellite in fucking space.
Yeah, that distance is you
Leo
can't
is
deny
not
that
that far from an
you can't.
RF perspective.
It's a heck of a lot farther than a football field from this 5G tower. Like,
You know what he did actually? This is a little known fact too.
are you implying that his frequency is just far superior than anyone's frequency that they are
It's the
offering
sweet.
on Earth?
It's the sweet spot
Because,
for this application.
but
One thing, SpaceX
mm,
actually lowered the altitude of the SpaceX constellation by I forget how much. It wasn't that
yeah.
much in terms of geography, but it had quite a bit of an effect in terms of latency. They actually lowered the orbital altitude of the entire
Mm.
constellation
Well, that's good
by.
because the fastest here's my here's my problem with Starlink. So the fastest speed that I can currently get with Starlink, if I want the fastest available, is only 400 megabits um total, up to 400 megabits total. So that's not, it's probably going to be some days it might be 3, might be 250, but up to 400 max. That's not that's not great, you know. I mean, my existing is over 1 terabit. And I mean, I don't need that every day, but like, hey, we like streaming multiple things at a time. If you got a family household, you probably want more
We're
than.
talking about a handset, text, voice,
No, yeah, but this
compressed
is
video.
existing. Yeah, but this is existing Starlink. So existing Starlink to get 400 megabit, which honestly, if you've got kids and a wife and everyone wants to, people want to watch their movies or they want to play video games simultaneously, you need
We're
400
talking about
megabit minimum
individual handsets, one
for
cell
5G.
phone.
For what I'm saying is the fastest offering now is only 400 megabit. Is that gonna jump up or something in the future? Because like that's
It's got
not
nothing to do with your Starlink internet service. This is going to be
no
a
is
completely different spectrum of
no
RF for
no
cellular connections.
yeah, but no one's like the future is not, hey, look, I just made a phone call in the middle of the Gobi Desert. Like that's a neat ad for television, but cell phones eventually when you put it in your laptops, like people want to stream TV, movies, video games, 4K, and eventually 8K. The future is not, wow, look how impressive I can text from the middle of the ocean on this yacht, or hey, I can make a phone call, in the middle of the Sahara. It, real world applications that need raw speed and power. And I'm looking like, gee, 130. So for 130 a month, I can get, which is more than my current internet. For more than my current internet price, I can get less than half of my current speed. It's not great for Starlink. And maybe this is old technology and he's about to do a massive upgrade cycle on the offerings or something.
Bro, but you can call your side chick when you're in the desert in Nairobi.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna make a great commercial, I guess, in the Super Bowl halftime show. But like practically, I'm not sure that's very
Yeah, it has
good.
to come along. It has to come a long fucking
Yeah.
way because the speed and the reliability are the biggest things with your phone. Like, I don't even remember the last time I was in, like, well, I do, but when I was in Timbuktu and I had no signal, right? Like 90% of the time you're looking for fucking speed and efficiency when you're in a fucking metropolis,
Yeah.
right? Or even in your house, wherever the fuck you
So
live, right? Where there is cell phone towers,
no
right?
joke, the last phone call I made, Magoo, like check your recent calls. The last phone call I actually
I haven't called
right,
anyone.
that's my point. The last phone call I actually made from my phone was May 19th. That was 2 weeks ago. Like we're not I'm not like who is this being sold to? Make cell phone calls from anywhere? All right, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of like 1999, like the Sprint Mobile 10 cent a minute fucking ads. Call
It's like
my,
fighting the last technological battle. We're on to, I want to stream 4K and 8K and
but
yes.
Matt, the next narrative is going to be the agentic economy needs mobile communication anywhere on the planet.
Uh,
Eh,
right. But I'm gonna
Bro,
duct tape.
you,
Yeah, I'm gonna duct tape my SpaceX
your
phone. No, I'm
SIM
gonna duct
card.
tape my SpaceX phone to the side of my Optimus Robot's dome, and send them off.
Yeah,
Like
that's
go
all
to this
you need,
grocery
bro.
run.
You need to have an Optimus robot with a fucking Coinbase MCP USDC wallet and a fucking Starlink or an Apple iPhone taped with a Starlink
Yeah.
plan on it.
With Clawbot running it all.
Yeah, with Clawbot running, doing your fucking
Yeah.
daily email.
And someone
Man,
injection prompts him,
Matt,
and he
Matt,
buys like
yeah.
50 watermelons and comes back home.
Yeah, Matt, every last person that I've seen like talking about Clawbot or setting up Clawbot are people that do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And they have nothing to actually automate and it's like busy work and there's like no
Yeah.
value. Like have you tried to do any of that shit? Like I get no,
Yeah.
zero, like zero
It's all
value
the
from
same.
that.
Thank you. It's all the same shit. Like, look how impressive I can automate my spam.
Organize my
Yes, that's all.
email.
What is this fascination with like the new better organization of your email, or the new spamming of your newsletter to thousands of people who never asked for it? Like it feels like it's just the same iteration of like I can put out my spam blast for
Oh, but man, don't worry. Now I have access to your actual file directory on your computer and I can save all your email attachments in these
yeah.
fancy folder
I mean, it is
decorations.
true.
It's
It can send an email blast bigger and faster than ever, but you run the risk of like, some files you didn't intend for it to access accidentally get deleted. But that only happens one out of 1,000 times. So
Yeah, I've getting zero value out of that. Like it just hasn't, like I use AI in other ways, like for helping me with my with
Writing, yeah,
coding that helps
yep,
100,000%, but I'm there driving it. Like I can't just set it on its way. Like even the coding aspect of like the agentic programming of you just like prompting it and to like just like when it first came out, like well, not first, when got super popular in Cloud Code console and people were running like 15 like agentic consoles at a time, like that's not reality. Like like you don't just set it and forget it and walk away. Like you have to be like personally driving it and reviewing everything that it's coming out with, like to have any
yeah.
real value. It's not, oh, let me just start doing random prompts on 15 different CLIs working all on the same project but different features on the same project. Like, yeah, okay, not in this reality,
And
buddy.
this is before they turn off the subsidies too. They've been slowly weaning
Oh
off the
yeah.
like this is expensive shit.
Yeah, I have like a max plan on Anthropics. Like I suspect once all the subsidies goes away, my bill is gonna be like $1,000 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've even like toned it down. Like they've made their models dumber, so that people spend more tokens, because they they need the money. And they've used like they have less like computer or inference, right? So they have like the models then trained. Like they're training the models with all the chips and stuff, but the CPUs and compute that's used for inference, like they're running short on it. So like you can tell when you like type in a Claude, it's like having a fucking half of a fucking stroke and an orgasm, taking like 10 minutes to fucking give you a fucking answer back, and it's like dog shit. And you're like, oh wait, wow. Like if you want to like blow through tokens, just go onto Claude Code and just start asking for things, and the problem is, as soon as you ask it for something, it just goes and does it, and you can't even like see what it's doing halfway through or try to stop it. Like you could blow through like hundred,
Yeah.
like one task yesterday. I asked it, I blew through 500,000
Oh my
tokens,
god.
like
What
in
were
one
you
task.
doing? What were you trying to get it to solve?
I was building a program where I was basically um, ciphering all of financial institutions' ADVs and 13F filings from the
Oh
SEC
wow.
website
Okay.
and pulling thousands of them. I think I got 10,000 financial institutions where I pull all their ADVs. I scanned all their
Like
PDF ADVs line for line, looking for
keywords. Yeah.
specific things and keywords, and then looking for their 13F filings and looking at what they've been buying and what they've been selling, specifically quarter by quarter basis and building a history. But that was
Mm,
like that
yeah.
whole thing that I'm talking about one thing in that whole project that I just talked about. One task in that whole project, I blew 500,000. Like that project that I work on, I probably used like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 million tokens.
So for cursor so what did that equate to? Like if
What did I
no,
get?
what is
Or
that? What is the dollar figure roughly? Hash out.
I don't
Because
know
like a
because
thousand, right? You get a bucket.
I pay a s- I pay like a subscription for Max, or I think I have Max times 10 or
Ooh,
20. I forget the plan they
okay.
call it. And you basically get like so much, and they have
But it's
in
usage
Claude, it's
based.
really weird.
It's
It's
yeah.
usage based, but they have weird uses. They have 5 hour limits, and then they have
Yeah.
weekly limits, and 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 then they have certain model limits, and then they have context limits within sessions. Like so, they have like 80 million different ways to
Yeah.
limit what you're
So
using.
you bump up on your
A-
usage
eight
limit
ways
in
from
your
so.
time slot because it was the day of the week
Yeah,
and
it's so fucking
Mercury was in
confusing.
retrograde.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I'm using Opus 4.8 with a million token context window, but I only have like this much I can use on a 5 hour period, and then it gets refreshed, and I have this much on a daily. It's fucked. I telling you, it's
It's
just
so
fucked.
wild.
Like you don't know, and that's most of it's
Yeah.
inference, right? Because like most of the time, like they've trained, the model's trained basically, so it's all inference, and what you're doing really adds up to what your usage, like the tokens. Like if you're reading and writing files, like that just fucking balloons your
Oh
tokens
yeah,
usages,
because
in a
that's
big
not
degree.
previously saved anywhere, so they're having to like actually
No,
use the cycles to do it. They can't pull it.
yeah, but the way that they're using their tokens, like you're an operation, the way that the AI is like, oh, you're saving a file and you're reading a file, those are operations that they basically charge
Right.
for. So when I'm like reading like
Oh
50,000 PDFs and like saving them and storing them and reading every single I bet you I'll see, but there's about 50,000 PDFs that I looked through, and each PDF was probably like over 10,000 words. So like this thing probably read like millions upon millions and millions of lines of like text while it was doing
what's your
doing this.
monthly subscription cost then? Ballpark if you
It's
had to.
only I think it's like 500
Oh, okay.
bucks, just shy of
Oh, all
500.
right. Okay.
It's not, yeah, but that's
It's all
why I
these
said
weird
as soon
time
as the
slots and mega
subsidies,
slots. So
yeah, yeah, but as soon as the subsidy ends, like I will not be shocked if like my plan goes up to like
yeah. Oh, yeah,
thousands of
yeah,
dollars.
yeah. Triple it. Honestly,
Yeah,
easily.
triplet.
I
Yeah.
mean, got
That
to.
yeah, we pay a lot. Well, it's for like each seat because we have like an
Yeah.
enterprise edition, so that's what we pay
Yeah.
each seat. So like times that by how many people are on your team,
Yeah.
basically. It
We're a cursor shop, but
I use Cursor. Like
yeah.
honestly, like there. It's Cursor, I think, is the second best. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing like a lot of
Well,
front end stuff or a lot of
yeah.
JavaScript
Well,
shit,
they're only
Cursor's
our
good.
so
Are you doing any coding, or are you just doing like read
it's
like?
only so I don't want to say only, but it's predominantly coding. Yeah. I think we learned real quick that like, hey, this letting your HR and your marketing try to vibe code is total bullshit. If they
Yeah, it
had a
is.
good idea, they would have been soft. If they had any ability or good idea, they would have been software engineers anyway. Maybe we'll let some of our creative design in here, but honestly, they're just fine. Give them enterprise Gemini, give them a basic OpenAI chat GPT. They do not
Yeah,
need the expensive cursor. So we reserve it strictly for the engineers, and they're not allowed to like, hey, your budget is your budget. We don't want worthless code to say you did. We like, what'd you make? What'd you do with it? What'd you make out of it?
yeah, because you can't just be like whoever uses the most tokens
Yeah,
is
what
the
is it?
best because they can
Yeah, what
use.
is it? Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, that's
Yeah,
brilliant. Why weren't we measuring this for years and years? Like, hey, he or she who performs the most keystrokes on the keyboard or the most mouse clicks on the
yeah,
mouse, clearly they are deserving of accolades and bonuses and raises.
yeah, exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
it was Uber.
One,
Uber. Did you see this news? Uber blew through their entire 2026 AI budget in just 4 months. And so
yeah.
Uber, which the fuck are you doing? So
If you have like,
they had to
yeah,
issue.
you could spend a
Well, they
lot
had
on it. How much do you spend on cursor seats?
uh, I know it's under 1,000 a head. Let's see. I know it's under 1,000 a month. I'd have to look at the billing. Unfortunately, because we're not the biggest shop, we can't benefit from economies of scale. We can't. uh, what's probably smart is we need to get in with one of those bundlers that take yours.
Yeah, those fucking Indian
No, they're
bundlers.
not Indian. They're here in this U.S. But
They're-
like they take your small company and their small company and your medium sized company and take 20 here and 40 there and 50 there.
Yeah, they're just like
Yeah,
resell packagers. Like they exist for like Microsoft products at the wazoo,
yeah,
right?
but like, hey, that's serious savings if they can save 25% off of your AI subscription. And all you and the only downside is technically you've got a middleman. Like, all right, we got some new hires. Can you add us some seats? And you're not contacting Cursor anymore. You're contacting the middleman. But like, it's a small price to pay for, 25%
Yeah,
in savings or
yeah,
15% in savings. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of cheddar.
yeah, it's decent, especially spending a lot. Are you finding that your developers are actually utilizing it and getting efficiency? I find that some are and
That is
some
the
aren't.
truth. It is absolutely some are never been more efficient and are just like excited, balls to the wall, spitting out code out, excellent quality code too, and quality work. Like, you know, the big thing that we noticed was like, you got your projects for 2026, your engineering projects and your hopeful stuff that we'll get to in the back half of the year, and the stuff you got for 2027. Well, our key engineers that have really leaned in, like they're pulling in work that we had slated for Q3 and Q4, and they're getting a sneak peek at what we have for Q1 2027. And we got, quite frankly, we got the other engineers that, like, I don't even know if they're using AI for advanced Google searches. They seem like they're running at the same pace they always did. So, yeah, it's really what you make of it. Like,
I find it that the people that actually know what they're doing get a massive
yes,
efficiency boost, but the people that didn't know what they're doing doesn't help them at all. And the people that can just run with things that actually understand what they're fucking building or why they're building it benefit greatly.
I see the biggest improvement is, you're working on some new feature or GUI or whatever, some new chunky piece of code, and you run it, you try to compile it, and it's got errors, and you spend the rest of your afternoon, if not the rest of the day, just trying to like figure out why it's malfunctioning and where the error that's the biggest time save that we've seen. It's just so much faster identifying your
Oh yeah,
code,
I
your
spent full
errors. Yeah,
days looking
but
for
with the quick,
yeah. I spent full days looking for like one line like or one like fucking
right,
thing in a code that I'm like, wow, I'm a
but
fucking
but that's
idiot.
the, but and that's the thing. But like, Cursor now can come along and be like, well, it's right here, you idiot. Like, you misspelled, like, this is not, the syntax is completely wrong, or like, this is not do any, this is meaningless, or this entire line of code completely negates the previous line of code. And that's why it's throwing all these errors. And it just identifies that for you within minutes when you might have been searching fruitlessly for the rest of the day. So you're right. Like, the smart engineers who like, you still have to hammer out the initial code, and then and flesh out the initial idea for the feature or the GUI or the whatever, and then Claude can help, Cursor or Claude can help you fine tune it and make sure it's error free. But if you're not even able to successfully complete step one, or if it still takes you multiple days for step one, like, the efficiency gainer is kind of lost. So
Yeah. No, that's true.